For tonight is simple and stark. We'll open your eyes to a Dolphin named Clark. Joe intros the Z-File. Bob previews the game. We'll tell you who's healthy. We'll tell you who's lame. We'll show you Steve Entman, Tim Ruddy, and his line. Their time has come, and they're working out fine. Now pay close attention. The cheerleaders are next. They've studied their lines, and here comes the test.
Vacation is over, we're ready to fight. So get this thing started with Dolphins tonight.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Joe Robbie Stadium. It's Game 3 of the preseason, the Miami Dolphins versus the Washington Redskins. This is Dolphins Tonight. I'm Steve Shapiro alongside my broadcast partner, Joe Zagacki. And after that disaster in Atlanta last week, 37-0, the Dolphins come back here 0-2 in the preseason.
Steve, a disaster indeed, but the preseason doesn't mean a whole lot. Just ask the 49ers and the Cowboys, both 1-2. But this week, I talked with players and coaches, and their mission tonight is to win.
The Dolphins have to start believing that they can do what everybody's told them that they can do this preseason.
Perhaps they can't do it, however, because the offense has not been in sync. A couple of the reasons: injuries. Byers, Kirby, Eric Green, they haven't really got into the offense. And offensive coordinator Gary Stevens is concerned on whether or not the Dolphins will be able to win early in the season.
Redskins are 1-1. They beat Houston last week 16-13 in overtime. And Muhammad Oliver, who last year played for the Dolphins, had an interception for a touchdown. They're 1-1.
And it's a young team, and 67 of the 80 players on the Redskins roster have been added since Norv Turner took over. Heath Schuler's the quarterback, and he's making a lot of mistakes.
Dolphins starters will play at least half the game, but this game perhaps most important for the guys who play the second half. It's do or die for those guys on the bubble.
It's hits like that by free agent safety Chico Nelson that can catch the coach's eye and help a man like Chico make the team. He's on the bubble, the expression a position used for guys who could fall off or fall through and not make the team.
Kirby Dardar trying to shag this one down, and does at the goal line.
Undrafted Kirby Dardar is helped by playing multiple positions. Returns punts. He's a receiver and a former running back.
It's very important for me to go out there and make a big play or do something well to, keep the eye, keep the attention of the coaches around here.
Here's a list of guys who got to do something big tonight, or they could be unemployed come Tuesday. And they're not all rookies, like William Gaines. The big nasty, number 92 out of Florida, is in his second year. This game could make or break his career.
Got to show the coaches, a little bit more every week, so this game is very important to me, I think.
On the roster right now, the Dolphins have 74 players. They have to get down to 60 by Tuesday. So for the guys on the bubble, like linebacker Deon Fox, it could come down to tonight.
I'm staying loose, got to stay loose and relax and just play my game. I know I can play. I know the defenses. I'm comfortable in the scheme now. And once I get out there, I just have to show them that I know what I'm doing.
And for more on tonight's game, let's go upstairs to Bob Greasy. He'll call the game with Brad Nessler. And Bob smothered last week in Atlanta 37-0. What's the significance of that? And what did you make of Marino laughing on the field at the end of last week's game?
Well, I'm interested to note some of the scores this week. I think Monday night the Bears got blown away by Cleveland and New England. A couple of nights ago got buried by Philadelphia. A lot of teams getting blown away. It's just preseason, and that's all I think you have to make of that. Marino 0 for 7. I think that if he would have played the second, third, and fourth quarter, he probably would have been 25 of 48, 385 yards, and probably 4 touchdowns. They're not concerned about it.
Running game, Bob, if you look for a bright spot, Parmalee averages 6 yards per carry. Ruddy seemed to play well. What do you make of the running game, and how much will they run tonight?
Well, I think the bright spot so far in the first 2 games has been Tim Ruddy at center. He has been outstanding. Monty Clark compares him to Jim Langer and some of the other great centers and offensive linemen that have been around here. He's just played tremendously, and they'll try to run it again today.
Jeff Cross will not start. He's spent the week with his sick mother in California. I guess that means that Entman and Armstrong will get more playing time.
Well, I think you had it pegged correctly. And most of those defensive linemen, most of the people on that bubble, a lot of them were defensive linemen. And that is where some hard decisions are going to be made. Not in Entman, certainly, because he's got his job sewn up, and so do the other starters. But the rotation continues. And as you look right in the middle there, this is Entman last week tackling both the quarterback and the running back. So he has just played outstanding.
What else specifically should we look for, this being the second to last preseason game, Bob?
Well, I think this is the third preseason game, and the third preseason game means this, that you don't want to wait to really turn it on to the fourth game because the weather might be bad. You don't want to play your regulars too much in the fourth one because they may get hurt. You want to play them in this ball game so you have some time for them to get well. The thing I look for is for Marino to hook up with his new tight end, Eric Green. I know when I was playing, they brought a new player in. Practice wasn't just enough. You have to do it in a game, and I really look for Marino and Green to hook up today.
All right, Bob, we'll see what happens in about 20 minutes. Bob Greasy and Brad Nessler join us for the kickoff in just a short amount of time. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll return with Coach Shula's game plan, and from the Z-File, the other end of Dan Marino's passes. We'll be back. Stay where you are, everybody. The kickoff coming up in 20 minutes. We're back at Joe Robbie Stadium, everybody. This is Dolphins Tonight. Steve Shapiro along with Joe Zagacki. And, of course, if this were the regular season and they came in 0-2, this would be a disaster. Fortunately, it is the preseason. Don Shula, he hates losing, but he's got a lot of issues to resolve in this game, and he shared some of those issues with me earlier this week.
Coach, how concerned are you that you didn't play that well last game?
Well, it's concerning because I use the preseason games as a measuring stick as to how we're doing, you know, our progress report. And you'd like to see some good signs. And our first two preseason games there haven't been a lot of good signs. 37-0, you can't ever feel good about that. And there were a couple of good things that happened. I thought our running game initially started out pretty well, and we just couldn't hold the football because Dan was having a tough night throwing it. I've never seen Dan 0 out of 7 before. And not complete a pass in the time that he played. But, they're working hard in practice, and there is concern. We would like to look better than we've looked in our first two preseason games.
I wanted to ask you, is the way they played of the letdown in the two games, is that any reflection on the way they've practiced?
Well, the last week I thought that we had a good practice week. The week before that, with the threat of the hurricane and all the things that went on that week, we had a pretty chaotic practice week and didn't get much done. And it showed up in the game. But last week we had no excuses. I thought that we practiced well, and I'd hoped that everybody was ready to play and to get the most out of their playing time so that they had the feeling that we're getting something done positive as opposed to what happened up there. And, you have to go through just a dismal night the way that we had to go through that.
Through 4 weeks of two-a-day practices and 2 preseason games, what do you know about this team?
Well, I believe that we're going to have more depth than we've had in a long time. And, we've got some quality players that have helped us win a lot of games through the years. And the thing that's hurt us in the last couple of years in certain situations has been depth. So if we get everybody back healthy and we can stay relatively, you're going to have injuries, and I know that, and we know that. But if we can stay relatively injury-free, then I think that we're going to have better depth than we've had in the past.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
I'll tell you another thing that he does know. Last week's game didn't have any meaning, and Marino was shut out. But Marino doesn't get shut out too often. In fact, over the last 12 years, nobody has completed more passes than Dan Marino. And this year, he's got a pretty good crop of wide receivers to throw to, including Irving Fryer, Gary Clark, Ricky Sanders, Randall Hill, and O.J. McDuffie. Now, those guys are here for 2 reasons. 1, to find a safe haven for Marino's passes, and 2, to make the Z-File. They make it look so easy, just like a game of catch between Marino and his receivers. Don't be fooled. The Dolphin offense is one of the most complicated and sophisticated in the NFL. It's designed that way by Gary Stevens. In his 7th year running the Dolphin offense, he's known as the mad scientist.
Why the mad scientist? Explain that to me. What are you talking about when you say that?
Well, you've got all the X's and O's, and you're a guy who's a stickler for detail, are you not?
Well, does that make me mad?
Well, it's just more, you're scientific.
Well, any offense is scientific. You got to be doing the right things out there. You got to be very defined in what you're doing if you're going to win, if you're going to beat people in this league. You can't be sloppy.
The Dolphin offense may be hard to comprehend and defend, but the philosophy is simple.
A lot of the routes that we run are designed to run away from wherever the defensive guy's coming from.
Here's where it gets tricky. There are 300 of those routes in the Dolphins offense. So for the receivers, it's more than a game of skill. It's a game of concentration.
There's really no set pattern to our offense. And then when the ball snaps, sometimes it's not that defense that you see before the ball snapped, and then you have to know what route to run off of that defense. And then at the same time, you might have blitzers, and you might have to change your route.
Once the receiving corps has mastered the routes, then it's up to Marino to deliver the ball.
It's difficult to the point that it's perfect the majority of the time. I'm used to extending myself a little bit with most of my catches throughout my career, you know, here and there. But Dan, everything's pretty much in the chest for me so far. It's been pretty much in the chest, so it catches you by surprise. You have to get your head around because he has such a quick release. And when he tells you to get your head around, you better get your head around. I've been hitting the helmet a few times early on in camp, so I'm getting my head around. From the time the ball leaves Dan's hands to the time it gets to you is a very short period of time.
The reason behind the complexity of the offense is to give the Dolphins an edge in every game, not only in smarts, but in skill.
Because of the system, because of the flexibility that the system has, and Coach Shula gives the quarterback and gives the offense a lot of flexibility, to his credit, and then you can't outsmart people. And
any edge in sports is talent. You got to have talent.
And the Dolphins have plenty of that in their offense.
Given the abilities that we have on offense and at receiver, you know, we have a lot of people that are capable of doing a lot of damage.
When it's all said and done, what do you want them to say about your offense?
What I don't want them to say anything. Is what I want to be is #1 in the National Football League in total offense, just like we were last year.
All right, great.
With a Super Bowl, right?
With the Super Bowl, absolutely.
All right, right now he's concerned because that system is causing mistakes. Here's why. Dan Marino's eyes aren't seeing it the same way of the eyes of the wide receivers.
Tight end Eric Green, he blocked well last week, but he still has not caught a Marino pass in a football game.
He will tonight. He's looking really good in practice, running good routes, in excellent shape, and they'll call his number.
Terry Kirby did not play on turf last week in Atlanta. Does he play tonight? How much?
Well, they want to get him playing time. They want to see him run the football and also block. Now, Kirby's having a problem getting the injury out of his mind. This was his first catch, and when he was hit here low, Kirby came back to the sideline and said to the coaches, "Did you see? That guy was trying to take my knee out. He's got to get the injury out of his mind."
Lewis Oliver sees his first action tonight against Washington. Gene Atkins, safety Gene Atkins, decks a reporter in the locker room, gets fined. How much does that affect his preparation?
I don't think it affects him at all. I talked to Tom Olivadotti. He said he's a very special player. Olivadotti really likes Gene Atkins because he does things right, despite KOing the reporter earlier this week.
All right, Joe, and fullback Keith Byers still not ready to play. When Dolphins Tonight returns, Director of Pro Personnel Tom Heckert joins us, but first, it's management's favorite part of this show. It's the commercials. We're coming back. Stay where you are.
Dolphins Tonight, we're closing in on kickoff here at Joe Robbie Stadium. The Miami Dolphins and the Washington Redskins.
That's Sagaki. I'm Shapiro. This is Tom Heckert, Dolphins Director of Pro Personnel. Thank you for being with us, Tom. This, of course, is the man who brought us Eric Green, Steve Entman, Trace Armstrong, Terrell Buckley, and that exploration team of Sanders and Clark. Sorry about that. Hey, Tom, if you can, give me a quick thumbnail sketch of the following guys. Preseason evaluation, if you will. Eric Green so far.
He blocked really well in the Atlanta game. That's the first game he played. He should really help our running game.
How about Gary? Well, there's Eric Green. We're looking at his stats. Gary Clark, the receiver.
One of the best route runners we've ever seen, Steve. Really should help us. He may catch 80 and 90 balls this year.
Defensive line, Steve Entman.
Steve Entman, his motor runs 100% all the time, Steve. He's a hard worker, and I think he'll help the rotation inside defensive linemen.
And Trace Armstrong also in the defensive line, pretty good this preseason.
Yeah, he'll help the pass rush, and that's one of the things we wanted to solidify this year as a pass rusher. He's going to start tonight. He can give us some help as a pass rusher.
How about in the defensive backfield, Terrell Buckley?
He's going to be our starting nickel back, and I think it's a homecoming for him, and I think it's going to work out well. I think he's comfortable here, and the situation's in, so he's going to help us.
Tom, Coach Shula is always talking about getting an edge, and in today's football, that means not only with 22 starters, but in special situations as well. Do you have that edge this year?
I think so. One of the things we wanted to have depth, Joe. We felt last year a couple situations we had guys hurt. The guys we put in there weren't quite good enough, and so that's what we wanted to do by adding guys like Buckley and Entman and Trace Armstrong.
Tom, with cut-down day approaching, are you still looking for talent, and how do you go about finding that talent?
We're still looking. For example, my son Tom Hecker Jr. is out there scouting tonight, Tampa Bay, and he'll look at players that they may release or the team they're playing against may release. So we've got all our scouts. We have 6 scouts out seeing games tonight.
Wow.
And writing reports on all the guys who we think may get cut. And so when the cut down comes to 60, which is this Tuesday, we'll still look for guys.
And I know teams are scouting Tom Hecker Jr. because they like his eye, but I want to talk to you about your eye. What is special about your evaluation, and how do you go about it?
Well, I think part of it, Joe, is instinct. I think some people have a feel for it and some people don't. And I think that I have a pretty good eye. I can watch some tapes and think what a guy can do for us. And also Eddie Jones and Brian Wiedemer really helped us with the salary cap. That's part of it. But Tommy and I can tell them who can play, and they can get the job done financially.
You know, Tom, maybe there are some people who don't know that your son actually works for the organization, Tom Hecker Jr., and he's a rising star in the football industry.
Well, I'm
No, he is. I know Chicago Bears have talked to him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they wanted to hire him last year, and I think he's got an eye for it. He's the guy that first saw these guys, Trace Armstrong and Ettman. He sees them early, and he'll say, Dad, I think we should look at these guys. And so I follow up on it and talk to Coach Shula, and he's done a heck of a job.
You have high expectations this year, yet this is a team that does have some injury problems. What's the contingency plan for some of the injuries?
Well, fullback, for example, Keith Byers, we're hoping he's ready for the first regular season game. If he's not, Robert Wilson would be the starting fullback. And that's the reason why we went for a fullback that we felt could be in there if Keith is not ready to go. And then Lee McClinton's an interesting guy, Joe and Steve, number 48. He'll play a lot tonight, and he could be a factor if Byers is not ready to go.
In about 10 seconds, Tom, how good can this team be?
This team can be real good, I think. We got to stay healthy. We've got to stay focused, but I think we've got a shot to go a long way.
I didn't think he'd say anything else, Joe. Tom Hecker, thank you very much. Dolphins Director of Pro Personnel. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we got to go away. We'll do something most NFL cornerbacks can't do. Go one-on-one with Dolphins wide receiver Gary Clark. We'll also have a farewell to Camp Shula. Stay where you are, everybody. Joe and I will be right back.
Their stuff against the maroon and gold.
Ricky Sanders would be one. Gary Clark would be the other. Clark, a 10-year veteran. He's 8th all-time in receiving. He's got some very definite ideas about his role, his career, and his new coach.
I want to prove to people that once you get over 30, you can still play this game and be effective for a long time after 30. And I want another Super Bowl ring. I had a chance to play with one very special coach in Joe Gibbs, and to move on to the winningest coach of all time is just incredible. I mean, he's a gentleman. He's a man who definitely knows the game. I appreciate him. He knows good talent because he brought me in. I laugh at myself more than anything because I do some of the silliest things in the world. I mean, just little stupid things. I'm clumsy at times. I think I'm Michael Jordan. So when I play basketball, I got the tongue out hanging. I got the long shorts. Can't dunk yet, but I still think I'm Michael Jordan, you know. I go out, play in front of 60 to 80,000 people. That's just in the stands, not counting television. So I'm playing in front of 1 million people. I can make you laugh. I can make you cry. I can make you bless me. I can make you curse me. I can control your whole action. That's a lot of power to have for one individual to have, and I can do that. I can control every emotion that you have in there, and that's a nice high. I mean, it's a power rush. How do I measure success? If I can get better each day, improve each day, never let myself down or let my family down, I'm successful. I mean, because my family's always going to be there for me. They're always going to love me. I'm always going to love them.
And perhaps most importantly, Marino has a lot of trust in him. You know, Joe, as the regular season approaches, so does the end of Camp Shula. I don't think anybody's going to be crying about missing 2-a-day practices or hotel rooms.
No, not at all, except maybe Dolphins Tonight photographer Matt Tyberski, who's lived day in and day out at Dolphin Camp and shares some of the highs and lows from this year's camp life.
Let's line it up out here. We've got to get started on a warm-up and the test.
And push. 2, 3, 4. 6, 7, 8, 59. That'd be great tackles, man. Get him up there. Wrap it up. Yeah. Wrap. Get him out. Ho, 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 ho. Shot. Get up there. There you go. That's going to be there. That's the one going to be an evening news.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to miss that too much. We're just a couple of minutes away from the kickoff now between the Dolphins and the Redskins. Dolphins offense, what do they need to accomplish tonight?
Well, they want to get in sync. They want to get that passing game cranked up. Want to get Marino to get the ball to Eric Green, and I think they're going to play into the third quarter tonight.
You know, we talked to Clark a little while ago. I got a bug on my nose here. We talked to Gary Clark a little while ago. We've come up with a nickname for the 5 receivers, airfare, because they will make you pay.
Yeah, and you get 6 frequent flyer points for every score.
You know, the Redskins offense looks a lot like the Dallas offense for obvious reasons, I would guess.
Yeah, Norv Turner, the head coach with the Washington Redskins, was the offensive coordinator with the Dallas Cowboys. It's similar. They run a lot of dangerous routes, ask Keith Schuler to throw into coverage, and often he makes mistakes.
All right, Joe, again, we're only about 15 seconds away from the kickoff. We're going to leave you now for Joe Zagacki. I'm Steve Shapiro. That will do it for us. The kickoff between the Redskins and the Dolphins coming up. Stay with us, and don't forget to watch us tomorrow night for Shapiro's Sports Sunday at 11:30, a shameless plug. Enjoy the game, everybody, right here on Channel 6.
Tonight, from Joe Robbie Stadium, the Dolphins take on the Washington Redskins in Game 3 of the 1995 preseason. Tonight's 6 Action Sports exclusive is sponsored in part by Lexus Luxury Automobiles, a new journey in the relentless pursuit of perfection. By DirecTV, introducing personalized TV. And by Volkswagen, on the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Drivers wanted. Now, here are Brad Nessler and Bob Greasy.
Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami, where it's week 3 of the NFL preseason, and the Dolphins still in search of their first exhibition win. They take on the Washington Redskins of 1-1. Hi, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler with my partner, as always, Bob Greasy. And Bob, last week the Dolphin fans weren't excited about what happened in Atlanta. You and I weren't too thrilled, and especially Don Shula not too happy with what went on. But it's week 3 now, and it is starting to kind of gear it up for the Dolphins.
Well, normally in week 3, you try to get it going, and especially the Dolphins. They've not looked good. If I were a betting man tonight, I would bet on the Dolphins offense big. Week 4, you really don't want to play a lot of your regulars a long time, but week 3, you want to play them because if they are nicked and get injured in this ball game, they got 2 weeks to get well.
You don't really have to worry, though, about this team. There have been seasons past when the Dolphins have not had good preseasons and gone on and had great regular seasons.
Well, the year we went undefeated, we lost 3 games in preseason. The Redskins, the 2 years they won the championship, they were 1-7 in preseason.
With Coach Shula looking for a win tonight, what will he do differently?
I think he's going to play Marino into the 3rd quarter, and I think Marino needs to time up with Eric Green, his new tight end. Not only do you get these things going in practice, but in a ball game where the confidence and the timing gets done, that's where you do it in the ball game.
And they'll be going against the 26th ranked defense in the league from a year ago. So the Dolphins, I think, are going to put some points on the board tonight. We sure hope so. The Dolphins and the Redskins, and we'll have the kickoff when we come back. Off an overtime win over the Houston Oilers last week, 16-13. They have not looked that impressive as of yet, and the Dolphins, of course, as we all know, looking for their first preseason win after a debacle in Atlanta a week ago, 37-0. Most lopsided score ever in the Dolphin preseason annals. And out to try to change that tonight. They'll get the football first. Deserving Spikes will trot back. And the Dolphins won the toss and will take it first. And the old veteran Eddie Murray, just acquired by the Redskins in this preseason, helped them win that game last week in overtime with a field goal. Will kick to Spikes and Terrell Buckley. Final preseason game at JRS next week. It's I'll Meet You Halfway Bowl with Tampa Bay up in Orlando. Not quite halfway, but close. Here we go. Eddie Murray's kick Spikes has to come up on it on the 6. Irving got a crease on the right side. Pops it across the 25 and out to the 28-yard line. Derek Brownlow, the special teams, and Stanley Richard made the stop. Dan Marino, who will play at least a half and maybe more, will bring it out after final words with Gary Stevens to set up the Dolphins offensively with Fryer and McDuffie as wideouts, Bernie Parmalee and Robert Wilson in the backfield. Behind this line of Webb, Sims, Ruddy, Gray, and Heller, they've been a bright spot. Eric Green seeing his second action now in a Dolphin uniform at the tight end spot. First down Miami as the Dolphins work from their own 29-yard line. And a slip. Parmalee got up. Made a pretty nice gain out of it. Again, playing in the Marlins infield there. And Bernie on takeoff took a knee. Marino biding time to give him the handoff, and he got a pretty good carry. Defensively, Woods, Boutte, Mills, and Sterling Palmer out of Florida State. Up front, Ken Harvey, Rod Stevens, and Marcus Patton. That's a pretty good linebacking core for the Redskins. Tom Carter and the old veteran Darrell Green on the corners. James Washington, who came over from Dallas, and Stanley Richard from San Diego, both free agents, are the starting safeties. Bernie Parmalee got 5 on that first carry. Second down at 5 Miami. McDuffie in motion. Parmalee again got a nice block, and Bernie's across the 40 and out to the 44-yard line before Tom Carter can make the tackle. Boy, big hole off the right side, Bob.
Dolphins started the game off last week running the ball very well, and if the Dolphins can continue, take a look at Eric Green, the tight end, blocking on the end of the line. It's a stalemate, turns his feet, there's a hole inside. The Dolphins continue to get the running game going, takes pressure off the passing game in Marino.
Not only is Eric a good blocker, he takes so long to get around if you're a defensive player.
Well, he's 285 pounds and moves very well.
So Parmalee, a couple of good-looking carries. First down Miami from the 45. Play action for Marino. Sets, waits, goes for Green and just overshot him. He was wide open at the 35. He'd gotten behind the linebackers, and Dan had just a little bit too much on it.
Needed to lob that ball just a little bit. As you look at Marino's numbers, career numbers, he is second best in the NFL in completions, in attempts, in yardage, and in touchdown passes. That was just, he threw it just on a line a little bit too much. Need to put a little air under it and let Green run to it.
So it brings up second down and 10 with Fryer and McDuffie, the wideouts. Wilson and Parmalee shift in the Miami backfield. Give it to Parmalee. Almost got tackled for a loss. Broke a couple of tackles and works his way out to about the 47-yard line. Give him a couple before Carter and Richard ran him out of bounds. But Bernie looked like he was dead in his tracks in the backfield, and he made something out of nothing.
It's a key third down situation. Last week against Atlanta, the Dolphins converted only 1 of 11 third down attempts.
That won't do it.
Well, that takes the ball away from you. You've got to convert third downs into first downs.
Third down and 7 here. The extra receivers, Randall Hill and Gary Clark, and Terry Kirby will check in to the backfield for Miami as Marino will work from the shotgun. 6 defensive backs in for the Redskins. Marino again slips and now goes deep. Got a man out there. Hill's got it at the 15. And he beat Darrell Green, and that shows thrill speed to go by Darrell Green, and a perfectly thrown pass for Marino.
There are so many good things from Marino. Watch him as he's going to slip. First of all, he's back in shotgun. Now he's going to slip right there. Now he moves around in the pocket, then he steps forward, then he just lays the ball to the inside with a little air in it. He knows Hill's got a lot of speed, and Randall catches up with it.
That was pretty. And a 38-yard pickup to the 14. First down Miami.
Marino has got a gun, but he also has a great touch.
Parmalee on a counter. Bernie inside the 10. Tough run to the 8, maybe the 7 before Stevens, the inside linebacker, can track him down.
How many people at this point, Brad, remember that Marino was 0 of 7?
That's right.
Last week.
Forget about it in a hurry, don't you?
Yes, they do. Running game, the holes are looking good. The offensive line doing a nice job.
Pickup of 6 for Parmalee, which is what he's been averaging on the preseason. Down to the 8-yard line, second down and 4. Dolphins can get a first down inside the 4-yard line. Both wideouts to the top of your screen for Marino. He's looking that way. Waits and fires. McDuffie in and out of his hands, and then it almost ricocheted to Irving Fryer at the 1-yard line. They'll bring up 3rd down at 4.
Yeah, not what Dan was looking for. This is just good coverage. He's got both wide receivers to the left. The slot receiver is going to run a quick out, and the 4 outside receiver was just going to run a fade. And good coverage on McDuffie and by Darrell Green on Fryer.
8th play, the Dolphin drive, and it's 3rd down at 4, and again a 3rd down conversion situation from the 8-yard line. Green stays in there at the tight end spot. Maybe they look to him. Nope, going to keep it on the ground. Parmalee in trouble, and he's going to go down at about the line of scrimmage. Nice job by Patton, who the Redskins acquired through free agency from the Buffalo Bills. Dolphins have seen a lot of him over the years.
It was 3rd and 5 or 6 or 7, and that is something that the Dolphins may not do in regular season, that they might show or try in preseason, and that is on 3rd down inside the 15-yard line, try to pick it up on the ground.
Inside the 20 last year, 61 trips and 32 touchdowns. And now it's Pete Stoyanovich who will try to put one through a 26-yard field goal attempt. Kidd handles a low snap, and Pete puts it right down the middle. So a good-looking opening drive. Stalled on 3rd and 4 for Miami, but Stoyanovich puts the Dolphins in front. They're on the board. We couldn't say that last week against Atlanta. 10:32 to go first quarter. 3-0 Miami.
Didn't take long.
45,000 yards, huh? Well, he saw Dan Marino, his hero, no doubt, hook up with Randall Hill for 38 yards, and that helped Pete Stoyanovich get close enough for a 26-yard field goal. 9-play drive for the Dolphins to open things up. Took about 4.5 minutes. Went 63 yards to get the field goal. And now Stoyanovich will kick away. And back is Brian Mitchell, number 30. And with him, William Bell. Mitchell, one of the more dangerous return men in the NFC, if not all of the NFL. And this one will come to him at the 5. He got tagged pretty good. Sean Hill got a piece of him before he ever got to the 20, and he bounced off to get to about the 21-yard line. Out comes Heath Schuler, 2nd year out of Tennessee. Big bonus contract a year ago, and here's who he works with. Michael Westbrook, speaking of big contracts, number 1 pick with Ellard. Schuler at the controls, Terry Allen and former Dolphin Mark Logan in the backfield. Scott Galbraith is the tight end. The Hogs up front's a pretty good group. They played a lot together last year. Lachey and Brown, Giesing, Johnson, and Simmons. One of the steadier groups for Washington.
Good offensive line, young at the skill position.
Here's Terry Allen, picked up from Minnesota. Vikings cut him because he was about to make too much money, and he ends up in the starting backfield for the Redskins. Trace Armstrong got a piece of him, and then the Dolphin pursuit caught up. Trace Armstrong and Marco Coleman on the ends, and Bowens and Klingbeil inside. Dwight Hollier's seeing his first action of the preseason with Brian Cox and Aubrey Beavers. And in the secondary, it's Troy Vincent and J.B. Brown on the corners, and Michael Stewart and Gene Atkins are the safeties. No gain on the last play for Terry Allen. 2 tight end set for Washington right here. And James Jenkins, one of those tight ends, on the move as the flags go down, as Allen goes down after a pickup of about 3, and that one thrown in the general direction of holding. Terry Allen, a couple of 1,000-yard seasons with the Minnesota Vikings, and that was wrapped around knee surgeries on both legs. Not a lot of guys in the NFL have ever come back from that. Gordon McCarter is our referee tonight. And it's going to go against Miami.
Usual.
And Don Shula says, us?
No. Illegal use to the hands to the face, number 99 defense. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
Chuck Klingbeil with the penalty. We've seen that one called quite a bit this year. So far through 3 weeks, the illegal hit to the face. You can't just give those guys the old right cross anymore when you're...
Well, that happens a lot when in the infighting with the offensive and defensive linemen, and if you can get your hand in their face, you can control their bodies.
First down by penalty for the Redskins. Schuler wants to throw a screen. Got it to Allen, who waits for his blockers, but he's going nowhere. Marco Coleman held his ground, and Brian Cox helped him out. Nice job by Coleman from his defensive end position. Waited that one out to make the tackle.
Dolphin defense, the first defense, has really played well, Brad. And talking with Tom Olivadotti this week, he's been pleased with the play of his first stringers on defense, but it's the backups, when they have gotten the opportunity to play, that have not held down the points.
Well, the exception of the penalty, the Redskins have done absolutely nothing so far on their opening series. 9 minutes to go, first quarter, 3-0 Miami, if you just joined us. Straight up the middle and a big hole for the fullback, who rumbles into the secondary, and Cedric Smith out of Florida just blasts his way out to the 43-yard line. Well, the big fella got that 240 going and picked up 12 yards.
Coming right up the middle. It's a little sucker play, and the defensive tackles got locked inside, and Cox was blocked. Nice play. That's one you want to put away in your mind and come back and call that maybe 4 or 5 plays from now. You don't want to go back to it right away, but don't forget about that play if you're a Redskin.
Gene Atkins made about the same tackle there as he did on a local reporter this week in the Dolphin locker room. First down, long handoff, and nowhere to hide for Terry Allen. Allen has struggled coming in, 11 carries for just 15 yards, and he's picking up where he left off in the first 2 weeks.
93 is Trace Armstrong, battling inside, gets the first hit and hangs on until help arrives. Trace Armstrong is a good ball player, good defensive lineman. He's more known for pass rushing than he is for playing the run, but has done a very good job all preseason against both the pass and the run.
Second down at 10. This is where maybe they can put a little of that pass rush to work. Let's see if Schuler will throw it. Pump fakes once and wants it all. Airs it out. Man open is Westbrook, and he overshot him. Schuler showed his arm. Westbrook showed his speed against Troy Vincent, but too far and too deep. Incomplete. It's third down.
Schuler is in his second year, #1 draft choice out of Tennessee. Westbrook is in his first year, and the problem for Norv Turner is that a lot of his skilled position players are young, and they're apt to make mistakes. Westbrook just got to camp, number 82 there, and he really doesn't know a lot of the routes. So you might see a lot of takeoffs down the field to him.
Third down at 10, the dime defense in there for the Dolphins. Extra wide receivers. Here comes a blitz on Schuler, and he got nailed from behind. Ball loose, scooped up. It's going to be incomplete. Brian Cox is the man that leveled him, and now we got a penalty marker down as well, as Michael Stewart took it the distance just in case, but Gordon McCarter had blown that dead from the get-go.
The forward pass, first hit, number 63, an ineligible lineman, the penalty for which is loss of down at previous spot.
So they'll have to punt either way, but boy, Schuler might be only in his second year, but he's going to feel like he's 40 tomorrow.
Here's Brian Cox. Watch him as he's standing up in a linebacker position, and then is going to blitz and has the offensive back blocking on him, and he'll beat that guy every time as the ball hit the offensive lineman in the back, and that's just nothing.
Matt Turk to punt. Lays it high in the air for O.J. McDuffie, who camps under it at the 9. No fair catch. O.J.'s going to try to do something with it, and he does across the 30, and the punter saved a touchdown. Matt Turk made the hit, or O.J. would have been off to the races. He has done that well in his short Dolphin career, and he sets up the offense. They'll have the ball with 7:10 to go first quarter, and a 3-point lead when we come back. So first quarter, 3-0 Dolphins on their opening drive. They took it down, got a 26-yard field goal from Pete Stoyanovich. Brad Nessler and Bob Greasy with you in week 3 of the preseason. Dan Marino will walk it up. Terry Kirby will be in the backfield. Gary Clark checks in at a wide receiver spot with Irving Fryer. O.J. McDuffie having that nice punt return. He'll get a breather now. Clark will take that wide receiver position. Kirby, first time he's touched it this year on the ground, and he got had a couple receptions last week against Atlanta. Ken Harvey, the outside linebacker, made the hit.
This is an important series for Terry Kirby because, as you mentioned, it's the first time he's in on running downs. 2 weeks ago in the game here at JRS, he was in on passing only. Last year he had that knee surgery, coming back, and he just needs to get in there and get his feet wet a little bit, get some confidence in his knee, and just get his mind off of his knee and get back on football.
Didn't play last week in Atlanta because it's artificial turf.
A lot of guys didn't play last week.
That's true. Flying across the line defensively was Tony Woods. But there was motion on the Miami side.
Wilson, the fullback, moved.
Ball start before the snap. Number 49, offense, 5 yards. Still second down.
That'll back it up just outside the 28-yard line. Wilson starting at fullback. Keith Byers is dressed tonight, but will not play. And as Coach Shula and the Dolphins get closer to that regular season, Byers, who has worked out this week, they hope will be ready. Marino steps up, rifles it to Clark. First down. Miami out to the 47. Tom Carter made the tackle, and the former Redskin, Gary Clark, with the reception.
Take a look to the right side. That's Billy Milner on the pass protection. Marino steps up really nicely, and Clark gets in between the zones and catches the curl pattern. Good protection. Gray is 62. Ruddy is 61. Milner is over there on that side. 3 guys blocking 2. Very nice.
18-yard pickup. First down out at the 48-yard line. Kirby again, left side. Little stutter step, and now puts his head down and gets across midfield. Not a bad looking run. Made one guy miss and then put some power into it before Patton and Woods could make the tackle.
What an outstanding player Kirby was a couple of years ago, Brad, before he was injured. Not so much for his running, but for his receiving out of the backfield.
Great pass receiver. A couple of seasons ago, 75 catches for almost 900 yards. James Washington being helped off the field, shaken up in the Redskins secondary, and he's the guy that came over from the Dallas Cowboys to try to shore up that secondary of Washington. So Terry got 3 and just crossed the midfield stripe at second down and 7. Spikes checks in. He and Wilson in the set behind Marino. Spikes tough run inside the 45. Morrison and Ken Harvey combine on the tackles. Irving did not have a good game last week, but as Bob said a couple minutes ago, neither did anyone else.
Yeah, I think they just all mailed it in. As you take a look from the end zone, Ruddy gets a nice block on the linebacker. But it seemed Terry Kirby's excuse for not wanting to play, I didn't want to play on the AstroTurf, a lot of the players felt that way. They just, but the attitude seems a little bit different here tonight.
So far, both the offense and defense have looked excellent. 3-0. Miami with a lead on a 3rd and 2 as Spikes, and Irving got the first down and then some. Got it close to the 41 before Rod Stevens, the middle linebacker, can make the hit. Irving put it on the ground a couple times last week at the Georgia Dome. Didn't endear him to the coaching staff.
No, that's exactly right. One thing you don't want to do is drop the ball. You get in the doghouse very quickly, no matter who's coaching the football team.
Redskins' Dexter Nottage just checked in. 2nd year out of Florida A&M. Played high school ball at Hollywood Hills. Checks into the defensive front. 1st and 10. 3:45 left in the quarter. Marino, nice play fake, rolls, wants to throw it outfield, and a penalty marker is going to be Tom Carter interfering with Gary Clark, or so it appears. Flag in the secondary.
It's a nice play by the Dolphins, getting Marino outside the pocket.
Pass interference, number 28 defense, automatic first down.
So many teams that come in and play the Dolphins will try to break down the pocket because Marino doesn't get outside. Throw in a few of these types of things and it'll really break that rhythm, that system that the defenses have. Here's a look at the interference. It's on 25 Carter as he got a fistful of jersey right there. And the official, the back judge, right there threw the flag. Nice call.
Carter, former #1 pick out of Notre Dame. And they want him to show up this year. They are not quite as happy as they had hoped to be with his play. 1st and 10, the toss to Spikes. And Irving goes down under a heap of Redskins. Sterling Palmer led the way. Marcus Patton also on the stop. Palmer and Patton playing that side. Patton came over. He and Darryl Talley really were the top 2 tacklers for the last several years for the Buffalo Bills. A lot of the other Bills get credit, but those 2 guys kind of the heart and soul of that linebacking core. And now Talley we saw last week in Atlanta, and Patton here with the Redskins.
Well, that's secondary good news for all the Dolphin fans watching the breaking up of the Buffalo Bills.
That's right.
Talley last week, Patton. A lot of the Buffalo Bills have moved on. That team is not the same as it has been.
2nd down at 7. Bernie Parmalee checks back into the Dolphin backfield, but it's Marino to throw. Dan has time, goes to the end zone. Green got a hand on it, but couldn't bring it in. Nice coverage by James Washington, who checked in after being shaken up earlier.
But we mentioned that the Dolphins and Marino want to get the ball towards the big tight end. Just going to run a corner route. Just not quite in sync yet.
I don't care if you're a strong safety or a linebacker. How'd you like to see this guy coming your way full speed?
As we mentioned, 285 pounds, and he can run.
There's Dan's numbers. 2 out of 5. And on 3rd downs tonight, 2 out of 3 for Miami. They've got another one here. 3rd down at 7 at the Redskins 16. Marino, plenty of time. End zone. Clark, touchdown. Redskin, 8 years in Washington, brand new to Miami, and he's got some new friends at JRS. And boy, did he take a lick and hold on to the ball.
Well, we mentioned that Marino wanted to get into some timing with some of his new receivers. Green was one of them, and Clark is another. And he's been looking good in practice. He's looking good in the ball games.
Stoyanovich for the point after. And the Dolphins take it right down the field again. The offense has looked as sharp as we've seen them the entire preseason. A field goal and now a touchdown. And with 2:41 to go in the quarter, it's 10-0 Dolphins. From Marino.
To the inside of your screen, just going to make a move to the outside, cut back inside. And the intensity this week is there. Last week, it was not.
There's the drive. You saw the hit from Stanley Richard, who called himself the sheriff when he was at the University of Texas. And he gave Gary Clark the shiver, but Gary still had the shake when he got up in the end zone. That was a heck of a catch. Stoyanovich to kick. Mitchell and Bell back deep, and it's Brian Mitchell who will run up on it at the 6-yard line. Mitchell got an opening across the 30. Brian Mitchell, Stoyanovich to beat, and Pete got a piece of him, enough to knock him down, but a great return of about 55 yards by Brian Mitchell, and that's why we said he is oh so dangerous.
He is outstanding. And when you said Stoyanovich got a piece of him, I think Brian Mitchell got a piece of Stoyanovich. Stoyo just got in the way. Watch this. Get out of my way, kicker.
Whoa.
But he did what he needed to do, and that is slow him down.
Good looking return. It'll be the Redskins with great field position when we come back. They trail 10-0. The third is the Dolphins host the Jets at 4 at Joe Robbie Stadium, and it'll also be Coca-Cola calendar day at JRS. All the fans in attendance receive a 95 Dolphins calendar courtesy of Coca-Cola. Tickets are still available at all Ticketmaster outlets and at Joe Robbie Stadium. You don't want to miss out. Opening day 95. It's just a couple of weeks away. After that nice kick return by Brian Mitchell, the Redskins in Dolphin territory, just inside the 41-yard line. First down. Terry Allen. This is his best run of the night. He got almost 5 before Klingbeil and Coleman can track him down. Down near the 2-minute mark in the first quarter, and it's been all Dolphins so far with the exception of that kick return.
Well, the intensity is there tonight, Brad. Last week it wasn't, and as we had thought, the Dolphins have come out in their first 2 series, have scored a field goal and a touchdown, and looked very good doing it.
Terry Allen got 5 at 2nd and 5. Allen will try it again. Same play, different result this time. As Jeff Cross came in to make the tackle from his defensive end spot. Jeff has had a tough week. His mom battling cancer out on the West Coast, and he spent a few days with her out there this week, and we wish her the best. It's Terry Allen. Last year, over 1,000 yards with the Vikings, but in the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season, he didn't gain much, and he says it's because the Vikings passed more. The Vikings thought that maybe he was slowing down. They also didn't want to pay him $1.4 million this year, so they waived him, and the Redskins picked him up.
They've had some incentives too last year.
That's right. 3rd down and 3. Heath Schuler over the middle, and he's got his man, and down to the 26-yard lines, Orlando Truitt. That's a 1st down for the Redskins. Wearing Gary Clark's old number. Clark already with a touchdown tonight for Miami.
From the left side of your screen, Truitt's just going to come across. He's dragging across. That's a tough route to cover, and it's good against zone and man-to-man coverage. And if you only need 4 yards, it's a good way to pick it up.
Troy Vincent couldn't have done much better a job. He shadowed him all the way across the field. At the 26, the Redskins looking pretty sharp now. 1st down. Allen trying to sweep the right side, and does. Terry Allen down inside the 10. Vincent and Atkins tracked him down, but he got a nice block by Galbraith, his tight end out there, and Terry Allen with the best run of the night.
Watch to the left. Number 51 is Brian Cox. He battles and battles, and then gets blocked by the tight end. Vincent gets mowed over, and like you say, Atkins, the free safety, gets over and delivers a blow. But Brian Cox losing that battle.
For the most part, the Redskins are right at the 10-yard line. Maybe just shaded outside, but they would have to be down to the 1-inch line to have to worry about whether it was goal to goal or 1st and 10. And the quarter comes to a close, so we'll run them down the other way. They can get off that infield and move down to the turf. First quarter is over, and it's belonged to the Dolphins. So far, 10-0 Miami. We'll be right back. Now that's the way to see the game. That's a good seat, especially to watch plays develop. They had a telestrator up there with Bob in there.
Yeah.
Bob Greasy and Brad Nessler with you. Dan Marino's had a good night so far. The whole night has gone better than the rest of the preseason has so far for the Dolphin offense. Right now, though, the defense out there trying to prevent a Redskins score, as Washington has it just outside the 10-yard line.
I hope he takes that towel out of use. I hope somebody else doesn't come by and pick up that towel.
Inside handoff. Cedric Smith got a yard, maybe 2. Brian Cox inside made the tackle. This game is presented by authority in the National Football League. It's produced by CBS-owned television station WCIX-TV in Miami in cooperation with WPBF in West Palm Beach, Florida. This telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without express written consent of CBS-owned television station WCIX, the Miami Dolphins, the Washington Redskins, and the National Football League is prohibited. Schuler on 2nd down from the 9. Buys himself some time to the end zone. It is almost intercepted, out of bounds. J.B. Brown had it, but only had 1 foot in. That was an ill-advised toss by Schuler. If you get in that kind of spot, throw it up in the stands, right, Bob?
He's just in his 2nd year. He's played 1 full season, not a complete season at that. When you're scrambling, don't try to do too much. Throw the ball out of bounds, throw it away. 1 foot is in. That may have been a completion because the receiver pulled him out of bounds. Now it's the discretion of that official right there. If he felt like he would have come down in bounds, he makes the call, and he obviously felt like he would have come down out of bounds, whether or not the receiver pulled him out or not.
Redskins are going to be penalized here too, unless the clock in the end zone is not right. They've run out of time on the huddle clock. Officials finally see that about 5 seconds after I do. Unless that thing was set wrong, it'll be a penalty against Washington here.
Delay of game, offense. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
See, that ball was outside the pocket. Everybody was rolling out, and sometimes when you're outside the pocket and everything's over there, you take your time getting back. Obviously, the officials got the ball back and got it marked, and if guard McCarter, the official, marks it ready for play, and the players aren't back, then you don't have a lot of time in the huddle, and that's what happened in that instance.
Dolphins changing up everybody. On the front wall, Etman comes out. Trace Armstrong comes in.
Because of officials' discussion on the play, I am going to reset to 25 seconds. There is no delay.
As I said, unless that thing was set improperly, we've got a penalty. Well, I guess it was. So we're just going to do it all over. Disregard. The jury will disregard that last penalty.
Yeah, I like McCarter doing that. If it was the official's fault, call it and give him 25 seconds to get it off.
Lewis Oliver and Frankie Smith, extra defensive backs as Schuler drops to throw. Over the middle, almost intercepted by Jeff Cross. And Schuler threw that one right to number 91. And it will be field goal time for the Redskins, so the Dolphins defense is held.
Redskins doing a lot of crossing patterns down here inside the 15-yard line.
Eddie Murray comes in. He's been around about 100 years. Most of it spent with the Lions. Last year with Philadelphia. 6th all-time in career scoring in the NFL. And they're going to spot it down about the same place Stojanovic did earlier. This will be a 26-yard field goal attempt by Eddie Murray. And he splits the uprights to give the Redskins their first points of the ball game. So the Redskins had a pretty good drive going. It stalls, and Eddie Murray gives them a 26-yard field goal to cut the Miami lead back to a touchdown. 14-10 till halftime. It's the Dolphins 10 and the Redskins 3. 32 yards to get their field goal in 3.5 minutes. 8-play drive. Remember, they set up in Dolphin territory thanks to Brian Mitchell's 54-yard kickoff return. So Eddie Murray caps it from 26. Chip Lohmiller cut a couple of weeks ago to open the door for Eddie Murray to continue his NFL career here with the Redskins. Set to kick away to Irving Spikes and Terrell Buckley. It'll be Spikes from the 4. Straight up the middle for Irving, and down he goes at about the 24-yard line. Darrell Morrison helping on the stop on the special teams. And Spikes a little bit slow to get up. Got that one right about in the thigh pad after a 20-yard return. So the Dolphins offense comes back out, and it has looked sharp so far tonight. We've seen better football in 16 minutes tonight than we've seen in the past 2 weeks. Dan Marino, a touchdown pass to Gary Clark, mixed in his 50% night for 76 yards. 1st and 10 for the Dolphins from their own 25. To Parmalee. Carter trying to track him down, but Bernie got in the corner, and a penalty marker flies in at the end of the play as he's run out of bounds. If you look at Bernie Parmalee, the front of his shirt, that'll tell you what kind of night it is at JRS. If you're in the nice comfort of your air-conditioned home or somewhere else, it's about 87 degrees at game time, and the humidity's about that high too. This one will go against the Dolphins.
It's tough on these players, Brad, not only during the games, but tougher in practice. 2-a-day practices in the hot sun. You just can't get as much out of your body as you'd like to when the weather's a little cooler. That's why depth is so important.
Illegal block in the back, number 81 offense during the run. 10-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. Repeat first down.
Well, Jay McDuffie was a good blocker for a wide receiver, but that time got in somebody's back and walks by the coach, and he'll tell him why he got in somebody's back.
He'll tell him that the defensive back came up and turned his back on him.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what he'll tell him.
So it backs it up to the 19-yard line. First down, about 16 to go. Marino. And that one hit, or he was hit as he threw. Intended for Bernie Parmalee.
Ball was tipped, deflected. From behind, take a look at the protection. Ruddy a 61, Gray 62, and Gray's man gets his hand up. Now the offensive linemen want to get enough pressure. There's Ruddy. Number 62 is Gray on the other side. Ruddy doing a nice job. Talking with Monty Clark again this week about Ruddy, and he is really high on that young man.
He's played well. Second down along 15. Marino from the shotgun, steps up, throws short to Wilson out of the backfield. And Robert got it out near the 30. So we got about 10 of that back, and it'll bring up 5 yards to go for the first. Rod Stevens, the middle linebacker, made the tackle. There's a guy that will direct traffic. You know, you see a lot of young quarterbacks who kind of call the play, and whether it's successful or not, they just wait for the huddle to regroup. This guy's always pointing out what should have been done or what should be done in the next play.
Talking about Marino, and Ruddy is, and we got a story to relate to you in a minute after this play about Ruddy.
4 wideouts on a 3rd and 5. Here comes a blitz. Fired complete across the 40 to Randall Hill, his second catch of the night, and Marino threw that baby on a line. First down, Dolphins.
Just catch the ball, Randall, and leave the shenanigans to somebody else. Little blitz coming. Everybody's got single coverage in the secondary. You should be able to get open. If you're any good, you should be open. And he'll, I don't think he had to catch. I mean, to jump to catch that ball. I mean, I'm not trying to get on Randall. I think he's a good receiver, but if he would have kept his feet on the ground, caught it, he may have continued to run and got more yardage.
Got it to the 42 as it is. Parley runs into Marino on the handoff. A little miscommunication about going right or left, and Bernie ends up going left for about 2 yards. James Washington, a strong safety, made the stop.
You know, after last week's game and the film study was over with and they graded everybody out and most of the players were out of the locker room, Monty Clark, the offensive line coach, went down the locker room, and Ruddy was still there. And he walked over to Ruddy and he said, Tim, he says, I don't want you to just be good. I want you to be great. And he thinks that this young man can, he reminds him, it says, of Jim Langer.
Ooh,
who was a Hall of Famer.
Pretty high honor right there, just to be compared in the same breath. 2nd and 7. Parmalee hit in the backfield and brought down this time as Darrell Green came up to make the stop. The initial hit was by Tim Johnson, the tackle, and that changed Bernie's course a little bit. And it'll bring up 3rd and long again.
I was talking with some of the defensive coaches for Washington before the ball game, and they were commenting on the offensive line for Miami. Of course, the two left side, on the left side, Webb and Sims, but they were impressed with Ruddy. They liked him last year or 2 years ago coming out of Notre Dame. And of course, they like Milner also, and Gray's been playing well. So the Dolphins offensive line has been playing well and have been pressing some people.
Dolphins 80% on their 3rd down conversions tonight. They've got another one here as Marino's got plenty of time and fires wide open to O.J. McDuffie. It's another first down in Redskin territory down near the 41-yard line. And credit the offensive line for part of that, because Dan had all the time he needed back there to find a receiver.
Good point. And here's take a look at the pass protection. 3-on-2 on both sides. Nice timing. McDuffie knows where he has to go to pick up the first down. Number 81, right in the slot. Sit down on the outside, a little stop and go. What was Marino's stats for last week again?
0 for 7.
Remember? Huh? This is what he would have. This is what he would have done if he'd played the rest of the game.
Sets up again on first down. Goes for the home run ball to McDuffie. Incomplete. Tom Carter was out there covering.
Yeah, he just was covered. Dan, the right place to go with the ball, because there was nobody in the center of the field. He had man-to-man coverage on the outside. He just didn't beat him.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 at the 42. Clock stop, 9:51 to go first half. It is 10-3. Miami with a Stoyanovich field goal and a 16-yard touchdown pass from that man to Gary Clark. Parmalee and Wilson in the Dolphin backfield on 2nd and 10. And it's Parmalee on a counter off the left side, and Bernie with another good run inside the 35-yard line before Patton can make the hit. I like Bernie Parmalee. He's just underrated in my opinion. I mean, I'm glad to see Terry Kirby back and all the rest, but number 30 gets the job done.
Well, here's a look at him. Wilson is going to be blocking. There's going to be a nice hole on the left side. And nothing fancy. He says, there's a hole there. Just let me get some yardage, and gained over 800 yards last year, filling in when Terry Kirby was injured.
Bernie says, I know that we'll all get our carries. I don't care if I start or not, as long as we move it down the field.
You never have enough good running backs.
3rd and 3. There's a pass inside. Little shovel pass to Kirby. He slips, but I think Terry got the first down anyway. Slipped on that infield in front of Stanley Richard, the free safety. But it looks like it's good enough for the first.
This is the Dolphin and Marino's version of a little shovel.
You don't see a guy that's thrown as many yards as Marino has doing those little pooch passes that often.
That's exactly right. Well, they never, I don't think anybody's ever accused Dan of being too nifty back there. He does slide around the pocket, but nifty is not a term I'd use.
Yeah, we got the chains coming out for the first time tonight, so we'll see. Maybe we jump the gun saying first down. Nah, got it easy. Got it by a couple of feet. Right about second base is where that first down, the 10th already for Miami, was accomplished. And had you not seen the game, well, the first 2 games for that matter, this preseason, you would not know that this was the same football team.
Well, the big difference tonight is they're converting on 3rd downs. They've had 6 3rd down attempts and converted 5 of the 6 times, where last week only 1 of 11.
First down here from the 31. Straight up the middle is Wilson. And he got about 3. Tim Johnson. I'll make it Sterling Palmer. Defensive end, number 97, made the hit. There he is out of Florida State. In his 3rd season already. And also played his high school ball in the area at St. Thomas Aquinas in Fort Lauderdale.
You know, Brad, as we go around, you see several Florida State defensive linemen around.
That's right.
They've had some pretty good defensive linemen and linebackers come out of FSU in the last couple of years.
Used to be thought of as mostly offensive guys, but you're right. There's a lot of defensive players. And of course, you know the defensive backs, the great ones that have come through
yeah,
there.
well, they're just getting a lot of good players.
Right.
It's a little draw play, a little stutter. That's the play they ran a little bit earlier. This time, not so successful.
Brings up another 3rd down situation. 3rd and short this time.
It's the kind of 3rd downs you like. 3rd down and 5 or less. You don't like those 3rd and 14s.
This one's about 2.5 to go on 3rd down. With the ball at the 23-yard line of Washington, and the Dolphins leading 10-3. 3rd down along 2. Marino wide open as Wilson out of the backfield. Boy, nobody even went out there and shaded him at all.
See, when it's 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3, all 5 receivers become receivers. On a 3rd and 15, it's tough to throw to your running back. Marino looks downfield, and when a linebacker doesn't go out on the flat to cover the back out of the backfield, he gives it to him immediately just to pick up the first down.
Of course, when Keith Byers is healthy, there's nobody as good coming out of the backfield except maybe Terry Kirby. But Wilson with a couple of catches tonight, and that's what Dolphin coaches are going to love to see, him making receptions out of the backfield.
The fullback in this offense catches a lot of passes.
1st and 10 at the Redskin 12. Counter, Parmalee. Bernie's inside the 10 to the 9. A little trap action going on up front has worked very well tonight in the offensive front.
Well, you got the 2 old-timers, Webb and Sims, from the left side pulling. The timing was off just a shade. There's a look. Watch these 2 guys pull. Their timing is going to be off. The hole's going to be there, but the running back's not going to be there. There's a hole there. He just needed to be, it just wasn't real clean. But that was close.
2nd down at 7 at the 9-yard line. Marino, the long give. Parmalee, he just takes people with him down near the 5-yard line. Mark Boutte made the first hit and then got help from his friends, and it will be 3rd down again.
It's a nice job up front of run blocking. Picking up 4 and 5 yards at a crack on the ground. And you control the clock. You keep your defense off the field. Olivedotti's defense will get so much better the more time they spend on the sideline.
Let's see if the Dolphins can pick up the first down or the touchdown. It's 3rd down at 3. They're at the 5-yard line of the Redskins. They can get a first down at about the 2. Green, the tight end, on the left side. O.J. McDuffie in motion. Marino clears it out. Incomplete. That was tipped by Tony Woods.
And once it's tipped, then all bets are off as far as interference are concerned. That bump before it got there was okay.
So a good-looking drive, but it stalls at the 5.
Marino is frustrated. Marino was frustrated. As we take a look at Eric Green, he's staying in blocking on this one. Blocking on a big defensive end. That was Palmer, but Marino knew he had his man open, but he just got the ball knocked down.
Stojanovic is hit from 26. This will be from 23, but he's got that treacherous infield. I saw him slip on that in the pregame warm-ups, but no problem from Stoyo here as he knocks it through to tack 3 more to the Dolphin advantage. 4 minutes, 50 seconds remaining first half, and the Dolphins stretch their lead back to 10. It is 13-3. The opening day when the Dolphins host the Jets at Sunday, September 3rd, 4 o'clock start. It's the ultimate tailgate party, complete with live bands, interactive games, cheerleaders, food, beverage, and a lot more. Parking gates open at 10 a.m., so come on out early. Visit JRS Sportstown right in front of Gate G at Joe Robbie Stadium. If you haven't had a chance to see that yet, it's a lot of fun out here.
It is. It really is.
Stojanovic with a couple of field goals of 26 and 23, and he's got it teed up. There's the possessions for the Dolphins tonight, Bob.
They had the ball 3 times, and they've scored all 3 times. Field goal, touchdown, field goal. Had the ball a lot, 9 plays on the first drive, 9 on the second, but 16 plays, and they kept the ball for 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Boy, what a drive that was.
Went 70 yards to get that field goal.
10 runs and 6 passes, and well, your defense would love those types of drives.
Got that right. They spent a lot of time over there on the bench.
Oh, yeah.
So the Redskins, following the Dolphins scoring drive, will get it back. There's a look at what we were talking about. 9:20 time of possession. 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first half. Norv Turner's Redskins trailing 13-3. Turner just his second year. The 19th head coach for the Redskins. Gordon Carter. We can hear you, Gordon. And the audio is set. That's what we're waiting for.
You're talking about the Redskins. They're a young team. Offensively, they are very young. Last year in the NFL, they were 17th in the league in offense. The defense was their problem. They were 26th out of 28 teams in the NFL defensively.
Gave up 412 points last year. That was the league high. Mitchell and Bell are back deep. Stojanovic got a little bit under this one. Kind of did a 9-iron job down to William Bell at the 11-yard line. Flags go down. We're going to have an illegal block on the return as Bell went out to the 24-yard line. Lee McClinton made the hit. There's the call against the Redskins, so that'll back them up close to their own 10-yard line to start this offensive series. Redskins, you talk about a different team from years past. 67 of their 80 players have been added since Norv Turner arrived 2 years ago. That's a wholesale changes, you could call that, I think.
Illegal block in the back. Number 15 receiving team during the return. 10 yards, first down.
Boy, they got new batteries in that pack, Gordon. We can hear you way up here on the top of the stadium now.
Talk about the Redskins. In 1991, they led the NFL in offense. Rippon was the #1 quarterback.
Much different team, and they'll have it on offense. Clark will get ready for Nightstand, a late-night parody of talk shows. It's hip, it's hilarious, and you've never seen anything like it before. Nightstand premieres Saturday, the 16th at midnight, right here on this CBS station. Brad Nessler and Bob Greasy at Joe Robbie Stadium with 4:41 left first half on an impressive night for the Dolphins. A couple of field goals and a touchdown pass for Dan Marino. It's 13-3 as the Redskins will start in a hole following the penalty on that kick return. First down from the 10-yard line. Schuler has not done much, and he's back to throw near his own goal line. Rifles this one complete across the 30, but a flag down in the Redskin backfield, and we might have holding on Jim Lachey as Henry Eller, the old veteran, got open for that one, but they're bringing it back.
This is what Schuler does very nicely. Strong arm, gets deep, just runs a curl to Ellard, and if he hadn't have slipped, he may have gone because Vincent had slipped also.
Illegal use of the hands, jam to the face, number 67 offense. Half the distance, repeat first down.
Ray Brown, the left guard, is the guilty party. Second time we've seen that call made tonight, and that's half the distance back near the 5-yard line.
And if you're wondering, both teams have their #1 units in. The Dolphin #1 defense is still in, as is the offense first team of the Redskins.
Now any kind of throw will come from the end zone. Terry Allen behind Schuler. They're backed up to the 5. He will throw from the end zone. Incomplete. Try to get it out to the rookie out of Colorado, Michael Westbrook. Incomplete.
Westbrook doesn't know a lot of the routes. He just came in earlier in this week, and Colorado didn't use a very sophisticated passing attack, so he's not used to all the adjustments, side adjustments, changing your route type of things. So I think what they've used him on here tonight is they've just thrown him 2 deep passes.
Yep.
Just said, just go deep.
Get your feet wet a little bit.
Don't read anything. They want to get him in the ball game, but it's going to take a while for him to adjust to the defenses in the NFL this year.
On 2nd and 15, a big hole up the middle for Terry Allen, and he rumbles out for a first down. And Sims and Brian Cox get mixed up a little bit. The right tackle and the Dolphin middle linebacker. Terry Allen exploded right up the middle, though. Needed 15, and he got more than that. Dolphins may be thinking pass on that one.
Here's Cox right here. Take a look. See what he was all upset about. He got blocked and didn't make the play. Nothing else to be upset about.
The 22-yard line, first down. Schuler out of the backfield. Terry Allen took the umpire, and he is down, and this might look like Peter McNeely against Mike Tyson later tonight.
Yeah. The umpires is the most dangerous of all of the officiating positions because you're right in there in the middle of the offensive and defensive lines.
Ed Fiffick, and you're not wearing pads and helmets either. And Ed took a big shot, and we hope he's okay as the trainers are out there on the Dolphins sideline in a hurry. But boy, that was congested inside. And as Terry Allen caught that ball, he and Brian Cox and the umpire and a few other people involved in a pretty big collision. And Ed's night might be over.
Usually an umpire, when he played in the offensive or defensive line, so he's used to being in with all those guys, and they know how to stay out of the way. It's amazing that they don't get run over more often. Sometimes you'll see a quarterback will hit them with a pass because they're not looking at the quarterback and the quarterback's not looking at them.
In Ed's case, though, I think that getting hit about 45 years ago.
Yeah, well, yeah. And he's not wearing the padding that he once wore.
That's right. They're going to help him to the locker room. Half only has 3:24 left, so we might be an official short, or at least a
Because of
reshuffling.
The injury, we are adjusting to 6-man mechanics. I beg your indulgence for a moment. We're adjusting to 6-man mechanics.
All right, Gordon, that's a reshuffling I was talking about.
What that means is they normally have a 7-man officiating crew. They'll take the field judge out of the middle of the field and put him somewhere so they won't have anybody in the middle of the field. The guy that's going to become free on this offensively is the linebacker on the tight end. Normally that guy is the one that watches the tight end and the linebacker.
Maybe he can get away with something.
So are the linebackers going to get away with holding the tight end a little bit.
Now that all the smoke is cleared and the dirt knocked off Ed Fiffick's back, it is 2nd and 10.
Look at the new umpire to the right of your screen. He is deep. I mean, he is really deep.
Yeah, he don't want any part of that.
You're not used to that.
Schuler downfield. Would have been a tough catch. Incomplete. Intended for Coleman Bell, the tight end. We got downfield in a hurry, but Schuler out in front of him a little bit too far.
Coleman Bell, former Hurricane,
right,
a couple years ago. Heath Schuler has not been the the answer that some of them would hope for last year when he was drafted very high. He's got all the skills. He has just not picked it up mentally as quickly as they would hope.
And he's going to call a timeout here, as mentally he wasn't ready for 3rd and 10 at the 22-yard line.
Charge timeout. Washington, number 1.
3 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the half as Norv Turner and his second-year quarterback will talk it over. We've got a timeout as well. We'll be right back. It's the Dolphins. Lead point with me before the game about Heath Schuler out of Tennessee. They've always got great athletes that you can play with there as a quarterback, and maybe he's just not ready for this setup yet.
Well, yeah, there's Ben Montgomery. He's a line judge. He's the umpire now, and it's uncharted territory for him. But Tennessee always had good wide receivers, good athletes, good offensive line, and a quarterback like Schuler could throw, but it wasn't a very sophisticated passing attack. And talking with Cam Cameron, their quarterback coach, he says it's going to be a while.
Going to be a while there, too. Troy Vincent almost took that one 25 yards the other way. It was intended for the tight end Coleman Bell again, and that wasn't a good throw, and that's what Bob and I are talking about.
Well, they said there are times when Schuler just looks fantastic, and then other times he'll throw balls like this that he shouldn't even throw.
Incomplete, brings up the 4th down. And that's a sprained left knee on Robert Wilson, the Dolphin fullback. He will not be back tonight. The other injury we've heard about, Irving Spikes, a strained quadricep, and he's questionable.
That's news right there, because that's already a weak position for the Dolphins, the fullback position.
Kent Sullivan trying to win the punting job. He and Matt Turk have been going neck and neck through the preseason. His punt goes down to O.J. McDuffie, who makes a sliding fair catch just outside the 42-yard line. So the Dolphins have good field position, and they've got 3:04 and a full complement of timeouts before intermission. And they've got a 10-point lead, 13-3. Dan Marino has been sharp tonight. On the end of a long drive last time, he was a little bit upset that the ball was tipped, intended for Bernie Parmalee, as they were trying to get it in the end zone. Had to settle for a field goal. Let's see what happens from the 42. Frontline players on both sides still out there. And that might be the case even into the early stages of the 3rd quarter. Gary Clark in at a wide out with Irving Fryer, and that's Clark in motion. Parmalee. Bernie goes for a quick 5 across the 45 before Sterling Palmer can bring him down. And Ruddy out there leading the way again.
But there's one position the Dolphins are not deep in. It's a fullback. McClinton, number 48 there, was a rookie free agent. Didn't have much of a chance of making this ball club with Byers and Wilson being healthy, but now that they're both kind of banged up, his chances of making this club are pretty good. He was not drafted. He's a rookie this year. And the Dolphins, if they have a problem, have some problems starting up at fullback position because of the injury to Byers and now to Wilson.
Marino to throw, and the tight end Eric Green makes the catch, and it's a first down Miami down at the 46-yard line. There's the big fella
first
happy
one.
to be part of the offense.
First one. Finally got it. That's the 3rd ball that Marino's thrown his way tonight.
Miami, number 1.
And the first time they hooked up.
42nd timeout.
42nd timeout here at 2:18 as Dan Marino calls one. He'll use the 2-minute warning as his next stoppage of play, and there's the numbers on Danny tonight, and that's a heck of a lot better than last week.
Well, the key thing is the drives have been productive. He's been on the field 3 times, and they've scored 3 times. And they've had the ball a long time, a lot more than the Redskins have. It's Gary Stevens with his back to us and the headphone on. Shula to the right, Kozar and McGuire. Gary Stevens is the offensive coordinator and calls the plays.
There's Keith Byers talking about the fullback position, dressed up, as you can see, no pads, and he won't play tonight, just trying to get out there and be one of the guys. And as Bob was talking about, the fullback position now with Wilson down with a sprained knee, Byers out, and all of a sudden it's Lee McClinton going, here I go, I'm a rookie, and I was expecting to get a chance, but I wasn't expecting to get it this way.
He may be the starter next week.
That's right. From the 46, first down. Play action for Marino. And fires out, and he one-hopped it, intended for Irving Fryer.
Poor
My
throw.
fault, he says.
Poor throw. Yeah, he had him too. Deep play action fake. A little problem in the pocket, little penetration into the pocket, but still Should have had it out there.
Again, he circles that huddle. Now
Said,
he can't hear the play.
Can't hear it.
You see him circle that huddle, though, and Irving Fryer was the last guy in, obviously, as the farthest man out on that pattern. And he said to Irving the same thing we saw him say to the sideline, my fault.
Yeah, well, Dan's very volatile. I mean, if the receivers drop one or run the wrong route, he's right in their face, yelling and screaming at him. And if it's his fault, he'll admit it.
2nd and 10. He'll work from the shotgun here. Going long. Clark in and out of his hands. Carter was covering. And Gary underneath the defensive back couldn't hold on to that one.
This is going to be a nice play by Carter because from the left side, Clark has position. And the ball is between Carter, but he goes over the top, and I don't believe he hit him before the ball got there. That's the only way he's going to make a play because Clark had position.
Fans are seeing it on the replay screen, and they're obviously going to think that was pass interference. I thought it was a pretty good play, too. Miami 6 out of 8 on the 3rd down conversions. This will probably be the final play before the 2-minute warning, and it's 3rd down and 10. Screen pass, does it develop? Kirby makes the catch, but he couldn't find anybody to block for him. He did get it down inside the 40 to the 39, where the Dolphins will have time at the 2-minute warning, the coaching staff, to talk about what they want to do. We'll see if they go for it on 4th down when we come back. There's the play to Kirby. At the 2-minute warning, it's 13-3 Miami. Here, as we went to the break, this is a sight we didn't want to see. Brian Cox pointing to his right knee. As you can see, it's wrapped with ice, as is Robert Wilson's left knee. They're heading to the locker room. And Brian Cox taking the tape off. You know his night's done.
Tom Olivadotti telling me yesterday, the defensive coordinator, that Brian Cox means as much to the defense as Dan Marino means to the offense.
4th down and a very long 3 for Marino and the offense just inside the Redskins 40-yard line. Trying to draw the Redskins offside. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
So they were going to try to get a free 5.
Game, offense, 5 yards, still 4th down.
And now with the delay of game, it'll bring out the punting unit. Not a bad thought, I guess. I don't know. Is it harder to do, Bob, from shotgun formation as it is up?
Oh, it is, sure. But they wanted to give the look that they were going for. They almost got one of the ends to jump, but it's much tougher because your voice is further away from the defensive line. But I was a little bit surprised there why the Dolphins didn't go ahead and go for it on 4th and 4. It's just a preseason game.
The word we just got from the Dolphin bench, strained ligament in the right knee for Brian Cox, and definitely out for the night. So cross our fingers and hope that that's nothing serious. John Kidd to punt. Brian Mitchell back near the 10-yard line. Kidd lays it a mile in the air. Mitchell camps under it. Sean Hill lost his footing, but he was going to try to do one of those jump stops down there to get a piece of that thing and knock it back into the field of play. Not quite. Touchback, and the Redskins will work from the 20. Kidd's been a nice addition to the Dolphins. Career worst on the net average.
Yeah.
And best overall laying it out there, and he laid that one out there pretty well. Another 2 yards shorter, and that might have had the Redskins pinned down at the 1-yard line.
Well, that report on Brian Cox does not sound good.
It doesn't.
Strained ligaments, and if the Dolphins are going to have to go without Cox for a few games into the season, they're going to get used to it here in the preseason. Get the linebackers in there, get them playing.
Schuler over the middle, right over the umpire's head again. Got it to Brian Mitchell on the run, and Mitchell's going to be close to a 1st down before Troy Vincent makes the hit. You know, when you think about Brian Cox having moved to the middle linebacker position due to injury last year when Offerdahl actually retired, and now with Brian, we don't know how bad he's hurt, but they might have to shuffle some linebackers now just to have a little bit of depth in that inside spot.
Well, Hall, your number 50 right there, who got blocked late, is the first guy that will be moved into the center.
2nd down and just about 2 feet to go after Brian Mitchell got 9 and some change. Schuler. Mitchell wide open. Out in the flat, and he heads to the sideline to get out of bounds with a 1st down at the 41-yard line, stopping the clock with 1:35 left in the half. Schuler throwing the little short dump passes right now just to try to move the Redskins down into field goal range, if nothing else. We've got a Schuler on the field and a Shula on the sideline.
Here's Hollier right here taking the place of Brian Cox, doing that little blitz that Cox was doing earlier in the ball game. It's picked up. Pass gets off, and a first down is made.
Out to the 42. See if he tries to get one downfield. Here it comes. Slant, incomplete at the 40. Nice coverage in the secondary by Lewis Oliver. You hear the chants of Lou making his first appearance back with the Dolphins.
Eller just going to run a curl, and Lewis Oliver, nice coverage. But there at the right time.
Draped that big arm around and broke it up.
So the first game that Oliver's been back with the Dolphins after some foot problems.
Schuler's had those kind of numbers now 3 weeks in a row. 4 out of 13. He's dropping back for number 14 and scrambling, trying to get away from Marco Coleman. Got it complete to Mitchell out of the backfield. He's into Dolphin territory and knocked out of bounds at the 48-yard line by Michael Stewart. And that might be enough for a first down again. Gordon McCarter's right in front of the sticks.
Schuler getting out of the pocket as Armstrong came inside. Coleman chases him down. Schuler was a #1 draft choice last year, and the backup quarterback was Gus Frerotte, was a 7th round draft choice, and ended up playing pretty well last year.
First down. Tom Olivadotti, the defensive coordinator, there with the headset on. And he's not real happy right now.
His middle linebacker is injured and gone to the locker room. He doesn't know exactly how bad it is, but he can't be very pleased about that.
So he's Schuler with a minute 22 remaining. And into Dolphin territory with a first down at the 48. Again over the middle, again wide open in that territory where the middle linebacker is. The ball's loose on it, scooped up by J.B. Brown. Penalty markers all over the field as well. But Mitchell made the catch and then lost the handle. So let's hold everything until we find out about the flag. Illegal man downfield, I think, is going to be the call, which would be declined by the Dolphins and give them the football. Unless there's 2 different penalties, and that's a possibility with the big committee meeting we've got going on right now. The line judge says, Gordon, I don't know. I'm not supposed to be the umpire. I'm supposed to be the line judge.
I'm out of position.
Here's a call.
Illegal forward pass thrown from beyond the line of scrimmage. The penalty is 5 yards from the spot of the pass, and loss carries loss of down. 5 yards, and it'll be second down.
So that's the second time loss of down penalty goes against the Redskins.
So that stops the play. It's no pass and no fumble, consequently. Well, I don't understand that.
I don't really understand the call.
Oh, there's what he's talking about.
That was a lateral, forward lateral,
yeah.
not
so that
a fumble.
Stops the play right there.
There we go. Our replay tells us. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Truck saved us there. Bob and I were in the dark.
Didn't see that little lateral over there. But it wasn't a lateral. It was a forward pass.
Yep.
Retained possession.
Second down, about 14. Schuler pumps, jumps up in the pocket, and now he loses the ball. Scooped up again. This time, the Dolphins have it. It's Frankie Smith. Well, I think the Redskins have been watching too much Australian rules football or something. I don't know where Schuler was going with that one unless it just popped out of there. But for the second time, the ball is loose, and this time the Dolphins defense comes up with it.
Well, the defensive line starts it by crashing down the pocket. Looked like Marco Coleman, number 90, that started it. Schuler fumbles the football, and Frankie Smith is there. Ran out by Jim Lachey, one of the big offensive linemen.
He just loses it, puts it in his left hand, and it just squirts out.
Coleman on Lachey, and then Cross knocks his feet out from under him, and he fumbles the football.
There's 2 of the ugliest plays back-to-back we've seen this year, and the pretty part of it gives the Dolphins the football back at the 45-yard line with 1 minute and a second left. So we didn't think the Dolphins offense would have another chance. And here's Marino and Kirby and company, and it's Terry on the inside handoff, and he high steps it for about 7 down to the 37. Dexter Nottage made the tackle. Clock running at the 52nd mark. And Marino will line them up without a huddle. Second down and about 3.
They work on these 2-minute drills almost daily.
Plenty of time. Marino going long, but Clark changed his pattern, and it's intercepted by Stanley Richard, playing center field back there, the safety man. Marino went kind of to an out pattern. I guess Gary Clark cut to the post, and the Dolphins give it right back.
That's one of the things, one of the reasons why Clark and Marino have to get in a ball game and react to different things that they see. It's an option route. He has a choice of doing several different things. Marino read him to go deep. He went across the field, and the ball was intercepted.
And they're going to spot that at the 1-yard line.
The intercepting momentum of the defense brings the ball back to the spot of interception on the field of play. First down at the 2-yard line.
That's the one you hate if you're a Redskin. Instead of being a touchback, it's spotted just outside the 1. Dan's numbers with that interception: 10 out of 19, 140 yards.
Brought it out to the 2-yard line.
So 31 seconds left, and now the Dolphins would like to get a big push here against Norv Turner's offense. Maybe they pick up a cheap safety.
The offenses have kind of gone south here after playing pretty well the first 3 or 4 series.
Barry Allen deep set in the eye, but it's the fullback who takes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's just about it. Cedric Smith had a timeout taken by Miami here, as they'd like to.
You know, it used to be.
Charge timeout.
You know, this is
Miami,
a preseason game. You got another preseason game left.
Just kind of let the clock run.
The opening in, your dressing room was just right behind you down there. You know, team wants to run it out, you'd let them run it out. Right. Now there's just the attitude toward these preseason games has changed a little bit around the league. They want to stop them, make them punt the football.
There's Coach Shula talking things over with Dwight Hollier, who now has just seen his first action, and he's right there with Dwayne Dotson, who's been forced into action due to the strained knee ligament of Brian Cox. If you just joined us, Brian went out about 5 minutes ago, headed to the Dolphin locker room.
What they're talking about right there is the adjustment. Marino thought he was going to go behind the safety on the post route, and Clark says he was too deep. I was going to go across his face. Marino threw it down the field. Clark was going across the field.
Those two veterans will get that together, you can bet.
That's what these games are good for. Practice is one thing, but in a game when there's live people rushing the quarterback, he says, I don't have all day to wait.
That's right.
I got to throw this puppy.
Let's go, Dolphins!
Redskins still down inside their own 5 with a second down. Schuler from the end zone zips it out to Westbrook, and the rookie makes his first catch in a Redskin uniform and has a first down, and he's a happy number 82 there.
He has some speed, too. Try to get the ball to him and let him run.
Tell you what, you and I have both done several Colorado games over the course of his career, and this kid's a real deal when he gets it figured out as far as their system.
He is big and strong and quick.
Had over 1,000 yards receiving as a sophomore, did Westbrook, and did Charles Johnson, who was the #1 pick of the Steelers a couple of years ago, was on the other side. So they had two All-American wide receivers on the same team. Don Shula, 33rd year in the National Football League, 26th with the Dolphins, and staying put. There's the only other guys with more longevity as far as with one team. Curly Lambeau, the Packers, and Tom Landry, the Cowboys.
I remember the first year he came down here. Asked me, he says, well, you know, where should I live? Well, you know, where should I buy a house? I said, I don't know. You know, you look around. I like Coral Gables. So he went up to Miami Lakes, and now they've got everything named up there except the city. Yeah, everything's named after Shula.
I stated his plays the last time I was down here. First down. Here comes Mitchell, and Mitchell into the secondary, and he broke another tackle. Got about 13 before Hollier can finally track him down. That's why they gave Brian Mitchell a big contract, number 30, all-purpose guy, not only out of the backfield and as a receiver, but he had last year almost 2,500 all-purpose yards. Now that includes kick returns and punt returns, but he can do it.
He is good. He is the top player on that offense now, no question about it. He is tough to bring down. The Hollier, number 50, Beavers, number 53. Beavers gets blocked. Hollier's nowhere to be seen. Hyer himself just coming off of an injury a couple games ago. Just rounding in the shape and the form, and it's probably going to be needed for the next few weeks. If that injury to Brian Cox, if it's a strained ligament, we hope that's all it is.
Right.
If that.
Well, we're down to probably one play. Outside chance there'll be two, but we have only 6 seconds remaining till halftime. And the Redskins have a long way to go and a short time to get there. From the 32, they're going to send their receivers all out to the left side, and we assume Schuler's going to lay one out there.
Yeah. Go it to Westbrook.
He's done that against other teams.
Michigan comes to mind.
He needs Cordell Stewart. Well, here comes Schuler's version, and Westbrook is out there, but it's intercepted. Picked off. To end the half.
Yeah.
Gene Atkins with the interception to end the half. So the Dolphins' frontline offense looked very sharp in the first 2 quarters. They had to settle for a couple of field goals and a Marino to Clark touchdown pass. Don Shula in the front line for both groups pretty much out there. One change on the offensive line for the Dolphins.
Billy Milner starting at right tackle.
There's Brian Cox out of uniform.
Show his legs. Show his legs. Let's see what his knee looks like.
Strained knee ligament.
Standing, that's good.
Yeah, it is. Parmalee. Darrell Green and Ken Harvey make the stop. Bernie got about 3. There we go. Good shot, guys. There's the right knee. Walking on it pretty well, and doesn't seem to be in a lot of pain. Those are good signs, I guess. But
yes,
sometimes you never know till tomorrow, I guess.
Exactly. But I think precaution is taken up, and I think just the way he's moving around, smiling, and the fact that he's out there moving around, standing is all good signs.
On a 2nd and 7, nice plays. Parmalee ran right smack dab into Lamar Mills. Lamar beat the would-be block and ran smack dab into the Dolphin running back.
You can't tell from that shot who the offensive lineman was that didn't get his block, but
had a little trap going, and I think it was just a trap door in that case.
You never like negative plays, and that was certainly a negative play.
And it makes it 3rd down and 13 for Dan Marino. 4 wideouts. Clark and Hill, McDuffie, and Fryer. Irving Fryer hasn't caught a pass yet tonight. Marino running out of time, and down he goes.
Yeah.
That one just took too long, and Tony Woods tracked him down as he came around the corner. First sack of the night.
Well, this is a coverage sack. He's going to get hit from the left side. Milner is number 79. Little game inside, and Marino held on to the ball too long. The coverage was good and allowed the defensive line to get there.
More the stunt by the Redskins, really, than any kind of major breakdown by the front wall of Miami. And John Kidd will have to punt from his own end zone. Brian Mitchell, he's been the most dangerous guy for the Redskins tonight. He's back, and he might have a shot at this one on the run from midfield. And he's got 10, he's got 15, and he's got about 19 on the return. He's slithery. I don't know if that's a word. Slippery. And he slithers. And Kirby Dardar made the tackle, but the Redskins in great shape offensively. With 11:03 to go, their offense will be setting up shop at the Dolphin 31 when we come back. Dolphins take on the New York Jets at 4 o'clock at Joe Robbie Stadium. And it'll also be Coca-Cola Calendar Day at JRS. All the fans in attendance receive a 95 Dolphins calendar courtesy of Coca-Cola. Tickets are still available at all Ticketmaster outlets or at Joe Robbie Stadium. You don't want to miss out on opening day 95. Redskins open up this drive at the Miami 31 after a nice punt return by Brian Mitchell. And Schuler wants to go down the middle off play action, and he completes it to Henry Ellard inside the 15 down near the 14-yard line. Gene Atkins there to make sure Henry didn't get any more.
Play action on first down. Ellard's the top right of your screen. Ball is deflected a little bit, and he still makes the catch. That's Dotson, number 59, who had a hand on the ball.
Henry Ellard, almost 1,400 yards on 74 catches last year, averaged 19 a grab. He is still getting it done in his 13th season, that's for sure. 2 tight end set. And Schuler drops to throw over the middle. Dangerous pass. Terry Allen's got it to the 1-yard line. Well, they've got that middle figured out, Bob.
Well, they've thrown a lot of passes to their backs and tight end, and if you can hit your backs and tight end, you'll move the football. He's looking left all the way.
Number 68 eligible. 6'8" eligible.
And down to the 1-yard line.
Bowens checks into the front wall for the Dolphins. Redskins with a 2 tight end set. Terry Allen behind Cedric Smith. First and goal at the 1. I think somebody moved on the Dolphins side of things a little bit early. Maybe Bowens or Klingbeil. Somebody got a head in front, and that'll make it at about the 1-foot line, if that's the call.
Encroachment, nose guard on defense, half the distance, still first down.
Klingbeil or Bowens.
I think it was Bowens, 95, came across a little bit early, but the thing that set up this drive so far, Brad, was the punt return and the lack of coverage by the punt team. Shula's got to be pretty pleased with his offense and his defense, but the coverage teams, both on the kickoff and punts, have allowed Brian Mitchell some good returns.
Terry Allen ran into his own man, his own blocker, and he goes down for a loss. You know, you couple that with what would have been a 95-yard punt return for a touchdown last week in Atlanta had it not been for a penalty on the Falcons, and you start worrying about some of those things.
And last year, 3 straight games, a ball was returned either on a kickoff or a punt return for a touchdown, and that's been one of the concerns, and that's one of the reasons that the preseason games are played, to find these guys that can get down and tackle on punt and kickoff coverage. Special teams.
Second and goal now as Allen lost a yard just outside the 1-yard line. Redskins trying to score their first touchdown. Schuler on the bootleg, and he's going to try to do it himself, and he didn't get there. Jeff Cross had him in the crosshairs and knocked him out of bounds.
Nice play all the way around. Brian Cross is the guy that gets all of the attention because he's out there with a quarterback. But the inside defense is good right now, and the coverage is good. And Cross didn't go for the little fake and knocks Schuler outside.
I'm not so sure they shouldn't have spotted that thing a little bit deeper. They put it back inside the 1. I think Schuler was out at about the 2. At any rate, Dolphins are making it tough on Washington. 3rd and goal. Here they come. Allen won't get it.
There you go.
Dwayne Dotson with a hit. That's a goal line stand and a half.
A couple of the linebackers earlier this week were released. One of the reasons is the play by Dwayne Dotson, number 59.
Great penetration.
Yeah, he's a free agent. Was with the ball club some at the end of the year last year, played on special teams, and he has got this team made this year as a linebacker.
And what looked like a sure gimme looked like a Bob Greasy with a 1-foot putt, and all of a sudden now they got to kick it. I'd give you those, but you can't give them on the football field.
I don't know about those.
So Eddie Murray now, they make the Redskins earn this, and he's going to come in, penalty markers down, and delay.
Game, yeah.
And they'll actually back this up on purpose, I think, for Murray, because they were in so close it would be shorter than an extra point. So this will make it more like a 25-yard field goal.
What a terrific defensive series, though, for Tom Olivedotti's unit. 1st and goal on the 1.
Delay of game, offense, 5 yards, still 4th down.
And 3 straight plays they are denied. The Redskins are, and the Dolphins now with a 5-yard penalty in their favor. Looks like a field goal is a sure thing.
The only thing that would top what Tom Olivedotti's defense was able to do there with a goal line stand is if Murray misses his field goal. Yeah. That would be the real gift, but he's going to spot this down, and it's going to be about a 25-yard attempt.
This drive started, what, inside the 50-yard line, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Short field to work, and the defense stopped it.
Started at about the 35, and they took it all the way to the 1-foot line, and now Murray's going to have to try to get one from 25 yards out. And he knocks it right through. So the Redskins get 3, but it could have been a lot worse. Credit the Dolphin defense for holding their ground. 7:23 remaining, 3rd quarter, and the Dolphin lead has been cut to a touchdown. Now it's 13-6. Hottest issues and the most powerful stories. Day and date. It's live with the very latest. Weekdays at 4, starting September 11th on this CBS station. With with Bob Greasy. I'm Brad Nessler at Joe Robbie Stadium, where the Redskins just went 24 yards on 6 plays, but they had to settle for a field goal thanks to a goal line stand by the Dolphin defense, which has the fans up and cheering. There's a Redskins scoring drive. It could have been a lot worse. Murray from 25 yards out has cut it back to a 7-point ball game. 13-6 as Murray will kick away to Terrell Buckley, who takes it at the 7-yard line. That's Kirby Dardar, not Buckley, excuse me. And he got out across the 20 to the 24-yard line. Terry Crews made the tackle. Kirby's one of those guys trying to make the cut, which trying to make the team and avoid the cut. And there's a cut coming up this week. There'll be a lot less Dolphins next week in Orlando. About 600 guys will lose jobs over the course of the next 3 or 4 days around the National Football League.
The cut is from 80 down to 60. The Dolphins have already released several players. I think their squad number now is about 73. So they only have about 13 cuts to make down to 60.
And Dan Marino here at the midway point of the 3rd quarter, still slinging it for the Dolphins. Just inside his own 35. Play action, deep ball. Gary Clark, incomplete. Now penalty marker goes down. Darrell Green and Clark were tangled up a little bit, and Stanley Richard came over from his safety spot. And let's see if that's interference.
And how many times did these 2 guys go at it in practice at Washington? Darrell Green and Clark.
Remember, Gary Clark was one of the original posse, or fun bunch, if you will, with Art Monk and Ricky Sanders and those guys.
Smurfs. They had a lot of nicknames.
They did. They did.
Yeah.
They had a lot of end zone celebrations too before the NFL decided that that was making the games too long.
That's one way of putting it.
And Gordon McCarter will rally his troops, which is 1 short of the normal group because of Ed Fiffick's injury in the first half.
As it mentioned that injury, we talked to went down to get a drink at halftime, and Tom Kelleher was the supervisor of the officials for this game for the NFL. Is on the phone, and he got off the phone and he started talking about the injuries, his broken rib, and I'm saying, what about I saw you talking about Cox. He said, no, not Cox, Fiffick, the umpire. He says, I'm an official, all I care about is my umpires.
That's right.
My officials.
The forward pass was tipped, legally touched by the defense before the contact. Therefore, by rule, there is no interference.
All right, they'll pick it up after all of that. We'll get another look.
Ground level from behind the defense. That's a blitz, 37. No. You don't call that. You don't call that. You got to let these guys play a little bit. I mean, he had his hand on him, but he didn't push him or anything like that.
So now that all the dust is cleared, and Don Shula says, I think it should have been a flag. 7:05 left in 2nd and 10.
He said, look at the replay. Was he doing? Was he pointing at the screen? Look at the replay.
Boy, everybody uses that scoreboard replay, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
And now the fullback, McClinton, and the tight end. Eric Green switched spots on 2nd and 10. Marino over the middle, almost intercepted. Intended for McClinton, the fullback, across the middle.
It's one of the problems, McClinton.
I'm not sure Dan Marino's crazy about that call.
I don't think he was either. I don't know if it was the call or something. Somebody hollered in, hit somebody else was open on the play. Marino went underneath to the fullback.
Using his 3rd fullback, we might add.
Yeah.
So 3rd and 10. And the 3rd down conversions, they started off very hot. Still, you'll take that 7 for 11 any day. 4 wide out group, though, for Danny on 3rd down at 10. Just under 7 minutes left in the 3rd. From the gun and under the gun, and down he goes. 2nd sack of the night. Boy, that thing just collapsed, and Ken Harvey and Sterling Palmer are the reason. Harvey is one of the best linebackers in the NFC coming around there, as he had 13.5 sacks last year, and he got a piece of Marino on this one.
Well, Harvey comes from one side. Milner is at the top. Number 79, he just gets beat to the inside. Both tackles on that one got beat, Milner and Webb.
Kid to punt. Mitchell waits on it. He's been dangerous tonight from the 24. Here he goes again. I can see why he averaged 14 yards a punt return last year. He just took it out to the 32 in a hurry. Joe Planansky made the stop on the special teams, but not before a nice return of 16 yards for Brian Mitchell. 6:29 left. He's got his helmet off now, but he's still wearing Dan Marino's number. We'll be right back.
The FBI has received detailed plans.
The passengers don't know what's in this bag. Neither do the baggage handlers or even the crew. So now that terrorist threats have airports on alert, why is this bag traveling on a...
The Redskins field position all night has been courtesy of Brian Mitchell, their punt and kickoff return man. He has had a big night. There's my partner up in lights, Hall of Famer Bob Greasy. That looks pretty good up there.
Tim Langer and Zonka and Larry Little.
Pretty good group. Here's Reggie Brooks. Got outside into the secondary. J.B. Brown's going to have to run him out, but about a 15-yard gallop for Reggie Brooks on his first carry. He's been hampered by hamstring problems in the preseason and had a 1,000-yard year a couple of seasons back, and he gets things going in a hurry on his first touch of the ball tonight.
Dolphins had this game pretty much in control at the end of the first half, but not done much here in the second half. As you mentioned, Brad, the special teams in the play of Brian Mitchell has really turned this thing around and got the momentum in the Redskins side.
They're right back in Dolphin territory at the 46. Schuler, pressure from behind, got a pass away, incomplete, intended for Galbraith as tight end. Marco Coleman bringing a little steam around the corner on Heath Schuler, but he stepped up in the pocket, threw incomplete. They played in Knoxville at Neyland Stadium last week in that overtime win over the Oilers, 16-13. Heath Schuler had a horrible night. He's probably never played that bad in that stadium, but he said it was nice to be back on his home turf in front of the Tennessee faithful. One of the writers this week said there was probably 6 Redskin fans and 3 Oiler fans and about 61,500 who came to watch Heath come home and play. Is what happened last week.
Tennessee fans, right?
Yeah, Tennessee fans. Brooks got it close to the 40 before Lewis Oliver put the stop on him. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 4. A long 4. Sean Hill will come in as a nickel back. Trace Armstrong as the pass rushing defensive lineman. And a 3 wide out set. Truitt, Winans, and Ellard for Schuler. Short over the middle, incomplete. And it was J.B. Brown shadowing Titus Winans across the middle. And now the Redskins are kind of Neverland with a line of scrimmage at the 40.
A lot of crossing routes, short crossing routes, and J.B. Brown doing a nice job. The defense now winning on 6 out of 7 3rd down situations on defense against the Redskins. Very good.
If I was the Redskins, here's where I'd go for it on 4th down and 4, but they're going to punt it. Kent Sullivan. Last time it was Matt Turk who almost knocked one out at the 1-foot line. Let's see what Sullivan can do. Knuckleball. Terrell Buckley calls fair catch, and the Redskins, are they going to get to it? Yes, at the 1.
Should have caught that one.
So Sullivan does his job. Both punters have been impressive on those inside the 20 kicks, and in this case inside the 1 is the way you can put that one in the stat column. 13-6, Miami with a lead, but boy, are they in a deep hole when we come back on offense.
The brake pads may be replaced. The leather may be conditioned. The belts may be changed. In fact, every pre-owned Lexus LS will be nitpicked, scrutinized, and pored over in as many as 100 quality and maintenance checks before it can ever be certified and backed by a special limited warranty. You could say we do the once-over more than once. Lexus certified pre-owned cars are at your participating South Florida Lexus dealer.
Is your toothbrush old? Or is it just old-fashioned? Here's a breakthrough in toothbrush technology. The Sensonic brush from Teledyne Waterpick. The Sensonic brush is designed to clean hard-to-reach places, 30,000 strokes per minute of sonic motion that gently scrub away plaque and reduce stains. Don't settle for an ordinary toothbrush. Experience the Sensonic difference. Available now at a store near you.
Hurricane season. Never trust the weather, but always depend on 6 Action News and Magic 102.7. 6 meteorologist Bob Soper's 23 years of experience, combined with our exclusive Earthwatch computer tracking system, will keep you safe, informed, and prepared. And when a hurricane threatens, 6 Action News will be simulcast on Magic 102.7 when you need us most. So don't trust the weather. Trust 6 Action News and Magic 102.7.
Well, the Dolphins will start at their own 2-foot line. One of those good news, Bernie Kosar, is you're going to come in and play now. The bad news is not necessarily the front line guys working with you yet to the 2-foot line, Bob.
And they got the short yardage double tight end offense in there to try and get some room away from their, get some yards, get away from their end zone.
Parmalee and McClinton in an eye backfield right behind Bernie Kosar, who's directing traffic and getting Eric Green, his tight end, set in tight. Bernie from the end zone. Play action. Get rid of it. Incomplete. That's where you can't afford to have a holding call. And Bernie's never going to make you forget Gene Kelly, but he got rid of that thing.
Well, Bernie lacks in foot speed. He makes up in
savvy,
mental power. Yes, he is bright. He knows what's going on. And he knew he needed to get rid of it, and he did. And he needed to make it look good because intentionally grounding from the end zone is a safety.
So same spot, second down. Parmalee, ooh, Bernie had to do a dance. Now he cuts outside and into the secondary. First down before Stanley Richard made the tackle. Boy, was that some high stepping. And he changed direction on a dime. A Redskin is down, but this is a good-looking run.
Parmalee has been very impressive. He gained 59 yards in the first half alone. This is a big run because it gets you out of the shadow of your own goalpost. Nice job of blocking up front, and a nice job of Parmalee seeing what's out there.
There's a Redskin face down at the 5-yard line, and I can't tell who that is yet. Tell you what, the way he's lying on the turf, it scares you a little bit because his teammates came over so quickly to get his helmet off and to take a knee, including Darryl Green, who's got his helmet in hand right now. And now we see some movement. That's all I wanted to see. They got him over on his back now. So an injury to one of the Redskins interior linemen, I think, and now they're working. Is it James Washington from the secondary? It is. Thanks, guys. The guys in the truck spotted that. The strong safety who they picked up from the Cowboys and who they expect to be the leader along with Darryl Green in that secondary.
This team has changed a lot, hasn't it, over the years?
I guess.
91. In 91, they were in the Super Bowl. After that, 92, they were 9-7. 2 years ago, they were 4-12. Last year, where they were 3-13. Major changes, a lot of youth. In 91, the Redskins had the top quarterback in the league in Mark Rippon, had the #1 offense in scoring and total offense, had the #3 defense in the league. Their defense had 64 sacks and only allowed 9 sacks offensively, but those guys are gone.
Most people couldn't even tell you where Rippon is a quarterback for what team now. As James Washington is coming off.
They were dominant on offense and defense, but that was the end of the era. They were getting old all at once.
Washington led Dallas in interceptions 3 of the last 5 years, and he apparently is okay, comes off under his own power, but that was a little bit of a scary moment, I guess, for the defenders of the Redskins. Meanwhile, at the 14-yard line, it is first down after Bernie Parmalee's run, the best looking run of the night by Miami. Hill and Sanders are the wideouts for Bernie Kosar, who's in, as you saw, Dan Marino with the pads off and the baseball cap on, is done for the night. Bernie, play action, fires out, completes across the 20. Now they're going to say incomplete. McClinton, and the head linesman says no, he trapped it.
We mentioned earlier that the fullback position for the Dolphins is going to catch a lot of passes, and this is the second. Yeah, it looks like a good call. This is the second opportunity for McClinton to catch a ball that he hasn't.
Dropped one from Marino and one from Kozar there.
Parmalee now with 69 yards from 16 carries.
He'd be my star of the preseason so far if I had to pick one. I think Bernie Parmalee. 2nd and 10. Redskins going to bring a blitz on Kozar. Steps up and rifles it far side. Incomplete. Nice play defensively by Tom Carter as Randall Hill came back, got his hands on that, but Carter broke it up.
A lot of teams will blitz Bernie because he can't move around that much. He doesn't have a lot of foot speed in the pocket, but knows how to get around. Milner is number 79 at left tackle now. Does a nice job with his man. Number 1 draft choice is learning on the job training.
So Bernie's probably going to be doing this again because now it's 3rd and 10. Terry Kirby comes in to the Dolphin backfield, and it's a 4 wide receiver group. Bernie sidearms it to Irving Fryer. First down at the 34. First catch of the night. Bernie gets picked on a lot about his sidearm delivery. Had he not done it that way, that ball would have never gone the 20 yards it did in a hurry.
A stop and go and a curl by Fryer. And as you mentioned, Kozar with the sidearm delivery, the defensive lineman was right in his face, had his hands up and probably thought, I got this one knocked down. The ball went right under his armpit.
20-yard pickup. First down out to the 34. 3.5 minutes left, third quarter. 13-6 the Dolphins lead. Remember, this drive started at the 2-foot line. Incomplete that time again, intended for the fullback McClinton.
Yeah, he just threw that away. If he would have thrown that anywhere near where McClinton could have caught it, that would have been picked off.
Well, they're giving McClinton every chance to at least be involved in the offense, aren't they?
Yeah, well, you don't know, too. He may have ran a poor route.
Yeah.
He may have, maybe he didn't run the right route to get open. McClinton is the only fullback left healthy on the roster at this point.
It's an all-rookie backfield, and Brent Moss of Wisconsin is in at the tailback spot. 2nd and 10. Kozar out of the backfield, completes it to Moss, who just checked in. Brent makes the catch at the 40, got about 6. It'll be 3rd and 4.
You look from behind the defense, pretty good pass protection. Little option route by the halfback. He goes down and could break to the inside or out.
Patton and Green made the tackles. As you can tell, most of the frontline defensive players still in there for the Redskins.
It's a big 3rd down here. Keep the drive going if you pick up the 3 yards.
Hill and Sanders, McDuffie and Fryer, the 4 wideouts. Kirby flanking Kozar in the gun. Bernie rifles it to Sanders. I don't know whether they're going to give him forward progress. He might have a first down. I think they're going to give him the 45-yard line. If they do, it's a first.
Yeah.
Muhammad Oliver, who was with the Dolphins last year, made the tackle on Sanders, but not before Ricky got the first down against his old teammates as well. Sanders and Clark have gone other places in between their Redskin career. Gary Clark going to the Phoenix Cardinals and Ricky Sanders to the Atlanta Falcons. But now they're up against their old group here, and they both have catches tonight. Clark has our only touchdown catch of the evening from Dan Marino earlier in the game. Kozar on first down, zips it, intended for Hill, and Darrell Green shows why after all these years, 13 of them out of Texas A&I, he can still do the job.
Got that right. Darrell Green 3 times, I think, or maybe 4, the fastest player in the NFL.
170 games, 37 career interceptions, and 5 Pro Bowls because of plays like this. Wow, that's pretty.
Had 3 interceptions last year. Look at that. 3 interceptions last year, 1 for a touchdown. Only 5'8".
Makes up for it with great speed and great instinct. 2nd and 10. Here comes some pressure on Bernie. Wants to throw a screen to Moss. And Brent puts his head down and got tagged pretty good by Anthony Abrams and James Washington, the strong safety, who had checked back in after being shaken up, so no injury to him to speak of. And it'll be a 3rd down and long situation, about 8 to go on 3rd down. But you got to give the Dolphins credit. They keep chipping away. This thing started at their own goal line, and they've worked it out near midfield.
It's already been a good drive. It's been a productive drive, even if they have to turn it over, because they've gotten yardage and they've taken time off the clock. And by doing that, you gain some momentum back from the ball game.
That's right. O.J. McDuffie in motion right into your screen, and Bernie Kosar goes to O.J. across the middle. And O.J. does his thing inside the 30 to the 29, and on 3rd down and 7, they got a bundle, and they move the sticks again, and the drive will stay alive.
Take a look at the pass protection. Milner and Brothen. Bernie sidearms it, and a nice run after the catch by McDuffie.
Boy, Bernie's thrown some bullets when he had to. Last couple of 3rd down passes. Coach Shula's got to be happy about his troops taking it all the way down to the 29-yard line. That was a 23-yard pickup. And now the toss to Moss. Brent Moss. And the rookie rips about a 13-yard run off down near the 16-yard line. Trying to make this club, and there's not a lot of room at his position, but if he doesn't make the team, you got to think the Dolphins maybe like him for the practice squad.
It's the blocking to the left side. It's a nice block by Gray, number 62, the left guard, downfield, doing a nice job.
That brings the 3rd quarter to a close. Miami still in front at the end of 3. It's the Dolphins 13 and the Redskins 6.
Will you be there when Marino maneuvers?
Be there.
When Stoyanovich strikes?
Be there.
When Cox closes in? Will you be there for the Dolphins in '95? Season tickets are running out fast, so call the ticket office 620-2578 or Ticketmaster 358-5885. Catch the world champion 49ers, the Buffalo Bills, New York Jets, Pittsburgh Steelers, and 3 primetime Monday night games. The Dolphins in '95. Will you be there?
Hey, what's the deal? During the Mazda Summer Savings event, the deal is 0 down when you lease a well-equipped Mazda 626 LX. That's 0 down, just $245 a month. Or drive home the roomy Mazda Protege. Buy now and get $900 cash back, plus an LX luxury package with air conditioning at no extra charge. So you save over $2,000. You want in on the deal? You gotta move fast. Go see your Mazda dealer now.
Imagine being trapped with an alien.
Did you hear that?
Something has gone disastrously wrong. Wouldn't you be just a little upset? Alien Encounter. New at the Magic Kingdom and Florida residents. It's just $27 for a full day at any one Disney park, now through October 1st.
Dolphins preseason football is a 6-Action Sports exclusive.
Brad Nessler and Bob Greasy at Joe Robbie Stadium, barring overtime. We've got 15 minutes left. We start the 4th quarter with the Dolphins threatening. There's the scoring through 3 quarters of play. And they have worked it down to the Redskins 16-yard line. We have 2 more reports of injuries for the Dolphins. There's Troy Vincent right there in the right corner of your screen. Bruised right quadricep. And Frankie Smith, a lower back contusion, also out from the secondary. That's the 2nd quadricep injury we've had reported from the Dolphins tonight. I guess you call that dual quads, huh?
I guess.
1st and 10 at the 16. And Brent Moss, who's been a big part of this drive, takes it down near the 10. Marcus Patton and Ken Harvey combine on the tackle. Brent Moss trying to make an impression before cutdown date, and he has made it with what he's had to work with tonight.
What you're blocking up front here is the offensive line is going to get into it. Right in front of Kosar is Ruddy, the center. Gray, 62. Heller, 73, getting a nice block. And not only getting their block and moving their guy out, but getting them downfield and keeping their feet going.
2nd and 6. Moss again. Brett cuts back, and he's going to be close to a first down. Harvey turned him in, but he cut it up. Bernie Kosar looks to the sideline and puts his arms out as if to say we got about a yard left. We'll see when they spot it.
The thing that they like about their big #1 draft choice, Billy Milner, not only is his size, but he has such good feet to pass block with and the run block with, and not only just hit your man, but then keep your feet going and move your man and then get your feet out of the hole, so there is in fact a hole there for somebody to run through.
Billy's not only stepping up to the right side of the line, he is eligible from that spot. His number's been reported. Now Eric Green in motion, the toss. Brent Moss got a 1st and goal for Miami. Followed his blockers, dove forward. Ken Harvey made the tackle, but not before Moss got to the 4-yard line.
Well, Moss has been impressive here tonight. He is the 4th running back. I don't know if they're going to keep 4 halfback running back types or not. You've got Kirby, Parmalee, and Spikes in front of him. There's Miller, number 79, Milner. Getting a standoff, and that's just good enough on a short yardage situation. But Moss is number 4, and with the fullback situation being what it is, he may stick around because of the injuries there.
Here he comes the other way. Slowed down, maybe shouldn't have, because coming up to make the force was Stanley Richard, who's a pretty good tackler from his safety position, and Brent Moss lost yardage that time. On this drive, though, the Dolphins are 4 for 4 on 3rd down conversions.
Well, there was nothing outside.
Ouch.
Now, he's lucky he didn't get hurt there or fumble the football. I don't know if that play was designed to go outside, but he didn't have any friends
no, he didn't.
outside. I'll guarantee you that.
He lost a couple. 2nd and goal at the 6. See if Bernie Kosar puts it up. Buys some time. Now Bernie steps up and runs with it. And he got to about the 2. It's got the crowd on its feet.
Only because he was forced to, as a last resort. Bernie, he's thanking the safety for taking it easy on him. Bernie is the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet.
Yep.
All right, just give me somebody to throw this ball to. Come on now, I'll get rid of it.
And he got it.
They're talking in there now. They're talking. They said, take it easy now. Take it easy. He's an old man. 12 years in the league.
Here's a 3rd and goal. And we have a timeout taken. Washington takes the timeout. So Bernie will have a chance to catch his breath, get his legs gathered under him. He might have to rumble for 2 more yards. It's still 2 yards away from the end zone. 13-6 Dolphins.
I am climate controlled. My temperature a constant 70 degrees. I am scrubbed of pollen, free of dust, void of pollution. So, why can't I breathe?
On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Nebraska coach Tom Osborne believes that the sport of football is not about hype. It's about performance and facts. Fact, the average college linebacker weighs around 220 pounds. Fact, the average play lasts 5 seconds. Fact, the average linebacker will hit at least 64 times in a game. The Adidas Strong Side Turf Trainer. Get ready or get beat.
Don't forget on opening day when the Dolphins host the Jets, Sunday, September 3rd at 4. It's JRS Sportstown out there, the ultimate tailgate party outside Joe Robbie Stadium with bands and interactive games, cheerleaders, food, beverage, and a lot more. Parking gates open at 10 o'clock, so come on out early and visit JRS Sportstown right in front of Gate G at Joe Robbie Stadium. This is a 97-yard drive and 18 plays so far. Let's see if the Dolphins can cap it off with a touchdown. It's 3rd and goal at the Redskin 2. Kosar out to McClinton. Can he get there? Yes. No, they don't give it to him. Wow. Now it's 4th and goal, and it's inches short, and this would be a 99-plus yard drive if the Dolphins can score.
He got awful close. It's a nice catch by McClinton.
Boy, I thought he got in.
You have to break the plane, and the side judge was right there blocking our view at the very end. Just break the plane of the goal line with the ball. It looks like a good call. I think he bounced in the end zone there, bounced across the line.
Dolphins are going to take a timeout.
Timeout. Miami, number 1.
And Don Shula and Gary Stevens will plan strategy. Bernie Kosar will come and chat, and we'll take a break too with 10:44 left. 4th and goal when we come back.
Hi, I'm Bob from FPL.
Bob!
Hot day for a run, huh?
It makes you work a lot harder.
Kind of like your air conditioner.
My AC makes me work a lot harder.
Well, when it gets hotter, you make your AC work harder. Here. But there's something you can do about it, and your telephone can help.
My telephone is going to help my AC.
Well, yes, by calling 1-800-DIAL-FPL and asking for our free summer comfort kit. It'll show you how to stay comfortable this summer while saving energy. Your AC will say thank you.
Bob, if my appliances start talking to me, you can interview them.
I will.
Nice wheels, Bob.
And now it's time for good news. Good news from McDonald's. The good news is right now you can get a Quarter Pounder with cheese for only 99 cents. Don't miss out on the great taste of a Quarter Pounder with cheese, now just 99 cents plus tax. Only at McDonald's.
Hurricane season is here. Are you prepared? I'm meteorologist Bob Soper. If a hurricane threatens, count on 6 Action News for frequent storm updates and life-saving information. Simulcast on Magic 102.7.
That little fan is just a little bit taller than how far the Dolphins have to go to get in the end zone. The ironic part about this drive, it started on that exact same spot because remember the quarter changed. That's where the Dolphins started the drive. Now as they switched ends and have worked at 99 yards, they're trying to score on 4th down and that much. Brent Moss has done a lot of the damage to get him here. Let's see if he gets the call. Moss, second man. Touchdown.
Second effort.
The rookie from Wisconsin got him close, and he got him in.
It's coming this way. That's Green in motion.
Didn't have it there, but he does there. Good call, Bob.
Brett Moss is making a stand to make this ball club.
Pete Stoyanovich in for the point after. Drives do not get any better than that one. From coast to coast, Dolphins put it in the end zone. They extend their lead. It's Miami 20 and the Redskins 6.
The FBI has received detailed plans.
The passengers don't know what's in this bag. Neither do the baggage handlers or even the crew. So now that terrorist threats have airports on alert, why is this bag traveling unattended? Find out as 6 takes you undercover on a troubling round-trip journey through some of the nation's busiest and supposedly most secure airports. How secure is security? Dave Game investigates Monday at 6 and 11 on 6 Action News, taking action for you.
Where did top crew like Sam Johnson and his kids get what it takes to put a little color back in the old homestead? Let's go back to square one. Builder Square has more interior and exterior paint values than you can shake a stir stick at. Choose from Glidden or Dutch Boy with free computer matching of any color.
Through Tuesday, receive a 3-pack of Easy Painter 1-coater 9-inch roller covers for just a penny when you purchase 5 or more gallons of Dutch Boy Dirt Fighter or Renaissance paint. Builder Square.
They'll get you squared away.
From the Redskins end zone, you look at Bernie Kosar and watch the block put on Marcus Patton.
It's McClinton, the fullback, and then Milner right there got a pretty good block before he was thrown to the ground, and Moss came right behind him. 19 plays, 99 yards, 9.5 minutes. The Dolphins kept the ball.
You'll never see one better than that.
That is a great drive when the Dolphins needed it. And Bernie Kosar was at the helm.
Stoyanovich to kick. Bobby Olive fields this one at about the 7-yard line. And he gets it out to the 29 before the stop's put on there. The NFL, you can't have, it's inconceivable to have a 100-yard drive because you can't go from a goal line to a goal line. They only give you 99 statistically. But that really thing started at about the 1 foot line, maybe the 2 foot line. So it went farther than 99 yards in 19 plays. That's incredible.
Well, it started with a short yardage offense just trying to get out of the end zone.
And Bernie Parmalee's run, remember that one?
Exactly.
Yep.
And it ended with a short yardage or goal line offense going in.
E. Schuler stays in with 10:28 left in the ball game. Maybe we won't see Barat at all tonight. Schuler down the middle. And out to midfield goes Orlando Truitt. Terrell Buckley and Chico Nelson in the secondary make the stop.
Throwing on first down. If you're going to throw, first down is a great time to throw because the defense has not got their 6 defensive backs in. The defensive line is not rushing. They're looking for half run and maybe half pass. But Schuler doing very nicely on first down throwing.
From midfield, he's set to throw again. Down the middle again. And this time the tight end, Coleman Bell, gets it down to the 37-yard line. Chico Nelson again involved on the tackle.
The Dolphins now have some of their backups defensively in there. 74 at the nose tackle is Hawthorne. Nice crease opening up where Schuler can see, which is very important for a quarterback to see the seams and look through there. A lot of people don't see that angle very often.
Whoa. Dotson says hello to Reggie Brooks. Loss of about 3. He's had a couple big hits tonight. He was the reason for the goal line stand that forced a Redskin field goal earlier because he stopped the Redskins for a loss, and here he's going to do it again.
He's playing Brian Cox's position, and the right guard is going to pull to the left, and he's just going to run right up the middle and say hello.
What an introduction.
You know, he went to the same school, Mississippi, as Tim Bowens. They were playing on the same defense as at the same time, and with the Dolphins.
Norman Hand, too.
Norman Hand, their 5th-round draft choice this year. All 3 of them played 2 years ago.
Trey Johnson, the Redskins' right guard, was helped off the field, shaken up. 2nd down and almost 13 for Schuler. And here comes a blitz on Schuler, and he goes right down the middle. Nice pass, got it to Olive down to the 20. Now Schuler's looking sharper here, doing everything kind of timing and getting rid of it in a hurry.
Dotson, 59, comes at the blitz. That means single coverage in the secondary. A missed tackle. And the Redskins are on the 20-yard line.
With a first down and 8:15 left in the ball game. Schuler again has time. Now throws short. Sidearm that one out to Truitt. That shows Schuler's arm strength, I think, there, as he pumped and was way off balance, and he still just flipped that thing out there. Sean Hill was covering for Miami. Picked up 5 more.
Norv Turner said before the ball game that Schuler has, you look at him and if you take out about 5 or 6 or 7 plays in preseason where he's really done very poorly, he's done everything that they wanted him to, but there's those 5 or 6 plays that he executes. You say, why did he do that, or why did he throw that?
Those are the ones that drive coaches crazy.
Oh yeah, and stop drives.
Here's a little quick draw on 2nd and 5. Brooks bounces it outside. Reggie Brooks trying to get to the corner. Terrell Buckley won't let him get there. Nice job by Buckley to run him out of bounds short of the first down. Terrell led the Dolphins in tackles last week against Atlanta. He's been involved in a lot of action, both as in pass coverage and here forcing the run.
Just a draw play. Nice move by Brooks. Notre Dame and Florida State right there.
Yep. Hetman comes hustling into the front wall for Miami on a 3rd down and a yard. There's Brooks. The tail of the eye. 2 tight end set. He gets the call up the middle. And he looks to have the first down. Tyoka Jackson and Dwayne Dotson on the stop, but not before Reggie Brooks gets a first down, says Gordon McCarter. So it's 1st and goal for the Redskins, and we're under the 7-minute mark remaining. And they trail by 14, 20-6. The Dolphins in front after that 99-yard drive, but the Redskins have taken it right back with an impressive march of their own.
This is the number 2 defense in there now. Caesar and Gaines and Tyoka Jackson. Hawthorne is in there in the line.
Truitt and Winans are the wideouts for Schuler if he decides to throw, and he will. And it is intercepted. Louis Oliver with a lot of green in front of him. Schuler to beat. He's around him, and Oliver might go. Back in Miami and back in the Dolphin end zone. Touchdown.
Saw it coming. This is one of those passes that Norv Turner says, why did he throw it there? Double coverage. Louis Oliver was always one of the more popular Dolphins. And he's done this before. Was it against the Jets a few years ago?
And the chance of Lou Stoyanovich as the Dolphins have sort of iced things up in red-hot Joe Robbie Stadium. Another Dolphin touchdown, and it's 27-6 Miami.
The brake pads may be replaced. The leather may be conditioned. The belts may be changed. In fact, every pre-owned Lexus LS will be nitpicked, scrutinized, and pored over in as many as 100 quality and maintenance checks before it can ever be certified and backed by a special limited warranty. You could say we do the once-over more than once. Lexus certified pre-owned cars only at your participating South Florida Lexus dealer.
At the Home Depot, we're committed to low prices. In fact, if you ever find any item for less, we won't just meet it, we'll beat it. And that's on brand names in every department, from paint to hardware to building materials. Every item for every project. Increase your tightening ability with a Skill 3.6-volt Twist Extra cordless screwdriver, just $19.93. Nothing beats its quality and durability. And you'll find Skill at the Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
Regular season interception, it wouldn't be a Dolphin record because Louis Oliver already has that 103-yard return for a score back in '92 against Buffalo, but he just took 197 here, and he has set the Dolphins up in great shape to win their first preseason game as he just took Keith Schuler from one end of the field to the other, and it's 27-6. Stoyanovich kick, Olive to field at the 5. Across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. Pat Johnson made the stop on special teams. A little bit of everything tonight, Bob.
Yeah, a lot of offense. Bernie Kosar with a great drive in the second half. The defense has been doing very well. And a big interception by Louis Oliver.
Gus Frerotte will take over for the Redskins now at quarterback. And there's his numbers from '94. He had won his opener, was NFC Player of the Week as a rookie, the first time he ever started in a Redskin uniform. His first call tonight. Here's in the fourth quarter, and he throws a rope out that's almost intercepted, intended for Truitt at midfield.
It's a tough way for Heath Schuler to end the night.
Boy, I guess.
He did a lot of good things. He didn't get him in the end zone, but Gus Frerotte is a second-year player. Was drafted in the 7th round last year. Schuler was drafted in the 1st, and they competed all year for the starting job and are still competing for it.
2nd and 10. Frerotte throws goes across the middle to his tight end, Bell. And Bell's got a first down out across the 40-yard line.
You kind of get the feeling that all the money they put into Schuler.
Feel like they have to play him.
They got to give him the first chance at it.
Yeah.
And playing more than 3 quarters here tonight, you think that that's the guy they want to go with.
But this guy showed his stuff. Farrat last year won his opener, as I mentioned, and he lost then in the second week to Philadelphia, but had a pretty good game there too, and became the first player since Dan Marino to throw 5 touchdown passes over a 2-game span in his rookie year. Here he goes down the middle, incomplete, intended for Truitt that time. They say about Farrat is Sonny Jurgensen, longtime great with the Redskins, and still works in both TV and radio. He's in the booth a couple spots down from us. That Sonny's kind of taken a liking to this kid and has tutored him a little bit more on the side than he has Schuler.
Oh, I don't know if that's good or not. I mean, Sonny, I mean, as long as he tutors
as long as
him
it's on the field.
Yeah,
that's right. That's a good point.
Sonny, I see him over there, 2 booths over, got his cigar in his mouth.
He's got about a 3-foot stogie over there. Farrat comes out of the backfield to William Bell. And William Bell down the sideline, first down into Miami territory. There's Coleman Bell, there's William Bell. I guess there's a Liberty Bell, but they're not on the field tonight for the Redskins.
Behind the Dolphin defense. Little in and out route. Nice running.
Former Georgia Tech player takes it down near the 40-yard line. First down, under 5 minutes left in the ball game. 27-6 Dolphins lead. Farrat deep middle, overshot. Jamie Asher, a rookie tight end, almost intercepted. Pat Johnson was back there covering.
I like that kid Asher. He went to Louisville from the left side of your screen, the tight end right down the middle. Played for Howard Schnellenberger.
He was their leading receiver last year.
Oh yeah, they think he's going to be good. They got a lot of young players on this. Both quarterbacks are young. Westbrook, their wide receiver, was a first-round draft choice this year. Asher, the tight end, they hope is going to be their 5th-round draft choice this year.
2nd and 10. Farrat got some pressure, got it to Bell out of the backfield again, broke 1 tackle, and then Dotson put it down after he got about 3 on the play. Down to 4.5 minutes left in the game, and the roster game will start to happen too.
Cut to 60 on Tuesday. On offense, they're going to keep 26 eventually. Defense 25 and 2 kickers. Total roster size will be 53.
A lot of decisions to be made in the next week and a half or so. Redskins haven't fared as well on their 3rd down conversion situation as the Dolphins tonight, obviously. Farrat, plenty of time, fires out, complete to Truitt. He's got a first down inside the 30 with his forward progress. Sean Hill made the stop. Another one of the Redskins draft choices. They've had kind of tough luck this year due to injuries to some of their high picks. Corey Raymer is out for about 12 weeks. He may have been playing a lot of center for this team had he not broken his leg.
Hey, Farrat has a nice delivery and a good strong arm. Just a little stop pattern. Slides back to the outside, uncovers himself. He said I saw a linebacker there, so he just slid to the outside.
From the 29, first down. Farrat throws on the run, incomplete, intended for Bell out of the backfield, and that stops the clock with 3:21 left. Farrat became a new daddy this week too. He and his wife Ann had a baby daughter this week, Abigail. 7 pounds 11 ounces. So he missed practice on Monday. And he probably hasn't slept while he's been at training camp, but he won't sleep now for a while either.
Yeah, but what a great experience.
Oh, I guess the best. 2nd down and 10 at the 29. Here comes a blitz on Farrat. Pump fakes once, now goes deep on a stop and go. Nice pass and a touchdown. Redskins got it out to Truitt. Sean Hill was there with him, but Farrat put it in the only place it could be, and Truitt made a nice adjustment for the touchdown.
Well, Farad has taken him down and done something that Schuler could not do. This is an excellent throw, right on target. And Truitt, who only caught 2 passes last year, he'll stop and go.
Good looking play.
Nice play, nice throw. And not bad coverage by Sean Hill.
And now Farad will hold for Eddie Murray. Try to cut it to a 2-touchdown game with 3:14 left. And Murray knocks it through. So an impressive drive by Gus Farad. And the Redskins offense takes it down and cuts it to 27-13. Miami in front. In front of 48,556 tonight. About 10,000 did not use their tickets at Joe Robbie Stadium. A lot of the backup players obviously were on Tom Olividotti's group there.
Look at the running backs. Probably going to keep 4. Kirby, Parmalee, Spikes, and Moss. If they keep 4, Moss would be the guy. They cut Antoine Carter just yesterday. So if they keep 4, those are the 4 they'll keep. Fullback position. If we have that, here we go. Byers is going to make the team. Robert Wilson, he got injured tonight, should make the team. McClinton is below the line because they only going to keep 2 fullbacks, but depends on Byers. If Byers is not ready to go by the first regular season game, McClinton will probably be around, and with the injury to Wilson,
McClinton might jump over that line.
McClinton may be above the line, and one of those guys may be on one of the list, on the injured list or something. But this is what the coaches do when they complete their roster. They say, all right, we want to have, where do we need the players? And special teams, the kicking game comes into effect. Who are the best players going down on special teams? They may keep an extra player at one position and not at another.
Onside kick coming up, and looks to be handled pretty well by J.B. Brown. Scoops it up after it traveled 10 yards. So now the Dolphins have it at the Redskin 40. The scoring drive, 72 yards in 9 plays. Gus Farad led the way and got it to Truitt on a 29-yard touchdown. So now Miami would like to keep this thing on the ground, use up 3:10, and go home happy. Dan McGuire in at quarterback. McClinton, the fullback. He got 3 or 4 before the Redskins could track him down. He has been active at fullback tonight due to the injuries we talked about.
Dan McGuire is in a battle for the quarterback. Here are the wide receivers. The 5, they want to keep 5 probably. Fryer, McDuffie, Clark, Sanders, and Hill.
Most teams would take that group.
Exactly. Then as Demetrius Johnson, Kirby Dardar, and Thornton are the ones that looking like they're on the outside, but they may be on the developmental squad, which is a 5-player squad of first-year or rookie players.
Brent Moss sticks his head in there, only got about a yard to the 35, or it'll be 3rd and 5. Matt Vanderbeek made the tackle. And we're winding down near the 2-minute warning. In what is going to be the first preseason win of the year for Miami, and it's going to be a fairly impressive one. A couple of gray areas that might be problems, but bright spots tonight.
Tight ends will probably keep 3. Green and Williams, no question. Pete Mitchell will probably make it unless they have some problems in other areas and need somebody on special teams.
Down to 2 minutes left in the ball game. The Dolphins lead 27-13. We'll be right back.
Will you be there when Marino maneuvers?
Be there.
When Stoyanovich strikes?
Be there.
When Cox closes in? Will you be there for the Dolphins in '95? Season tickets are running out fast, so call the ticket office 620-2578 or Ticketmaster 358-5885. Catch the world champion 49ers, the Buffalo Bills, New York Jets, Pittsburgh Steelers, and 3 primetime Monday night games. The Dolphins in '95. Will you be there?
as we show you the new Chevy Camaro. Please keep repeating the introductory price so you don't forget. Air conditioning,
$15,495.
anti-lock brakes,
$15,495.
AM/FM cassette,
$15,495.
dual airbags.
$15,495.
The Chevy Geo Team brings you the new Chevy Camaro for just $15,495. But hurry, this price
$15,495
may not be repeated again.
Bernie Kosar there with Coach Shula, and some guys could play 2 quarters and not see as much action as Bernie did in one drive tonight, Bob.
99 yards. He got him in the end zone, went from one end to the other. 58 yards passing. But it was a nice drive. Bernie making the plays.
Meanwhile, Dan McGuire and the Dolphins offense has a 3rd down at the 35 of the Redskins. In the final 2 minutes, Brent Moss bounced off. One tackler, not quite enough for the 1st down. Vanderbeek holding on for dear life.
The offensive line, they're probably going to keep 9. Of course, the first 5, Webb, Sims, Ruddy, Gray, Heller, and Burt Widener, the 6th guy. He's injured. They'll all make it. Milner, the #1 draft choice, and Green, the #2, will probably make it. And then Albright makes 9.
He's the long snapper, which helps his cause.
He's the snapper. Then the other ones are Brothen, James, a rookie, and Dittman, a rookie. Barring injury, doesn't seem as though they'll be on the squad.
Got a 4th down and about a yard for the Dolphins as we've got a 40-second timeout with 1:47 left, and the Brain Trust on the sideline talking it over. Doug Peterson with a headset on there did not play tonight, and now you sort of wonder what's going to happen if he will make the team. Apparently McGuire will beat him out. Here's the defensive line, how it looks.
Probably keep 8. The starting 4 across Coleman, Bowens, and Klingbeil, and then you have Armstrong and Empman. Then it maybe Gaines seems to be the leading candidate. He can play all 4 defensive line positions, and Hawthorne, the rookie they like. And then Tyoka Jackson Hand is the draft choice out of Mississippi, who's been injured most of the time. And Mark Caesar has been around and has a chance to make the ball club.
4th and a yard. Brent Moss on a toss sweep. He's got the first, and he's got about 5 more. The rookie's had a nice night. He had a touchdown to end that 99-yard drive, and he just picked up on a 4th and 1 about 6 yards to the 25. And we're down to a minute and a half, 27-13. Miami in front.
Nice block by Gray, number 62. You talk to the coaches, and they just keep talking about guys like Ruddy and Gray, the two new guys in the offensive line, and they're doing very well.
Get it on the ground. Brent Moss got about another yard. Derek Brownlow made the first contact. We're under a minute, Bob. We're gonna have you do this first.
Well, there's 7 linebackers: Cox, Singleton, Beavers, and Hollier. Kopp has looked well. Dotson has looked very well. And Fox seems to make it. Bola has been cut already, and Wilkerson is the rookie.
Wanted to say we're going to turn you loose to the college ranks. Herb Cross will join us next week in Orlando. It's been great working with you again, partner.
Always enjoyed. Look forward to hearing you during the season.
Dolphins will wrap up the preseason Friday night in Orlando against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as Moss goes down at about the line of scrimmage. And we're down to the final 20 seconds.
And 10 defensive backs. You can look at them there. Oliver with a big interception tonight. Chris Green. Terrell Buckley made a name for himself, is doing well.
Chico Nelson's had some big hits.
Yep.
Well, this one's a hit to Dolphin fans, I would think, as Norv Turner and Don Shula shake hands. It's over. And Miami, Dan Marino, who looked sharp to start the game and played into the 3rd quarter, had the frontline offense in high gear. And the Dolphins, thanks to Oliver's return, can cruise to victory. And Coach Shula cruises to the locker room as the Dolphins win 27-13 tonight over the Washington Redskins.
Hey, what's the deal? During the Mazda Summer Savings Event, the deal is 0 down when you lease a well-equipped Mazda 626 LX. That's 0 down, just $245 a month. or drive home the roomy Mazda Protege. Buy now and get $900 cash back, plus an LX luxury package with air conditioning at no extra charge. So you save over $2,000. You want in on the deal? You gotta move fast. Go see your Mazda dealer now.
Television has always had an amazing power. The power to let us see things first, to see them live as they happen. Now there's a new show that's exactly what TV was meant to be. Day and Date. The most compelling, provocative, and eye-opening stories on television. Join Dana King, Patrick Van Horn, and Dr. Nancy Snyderman for Day and Date. It's live with the latest.
Day and Date, weekdays at 4, starting September 11th on CBS.
How much would you expect to pay for a bike like this? $100, $200, $300? Surprised? You shouldn't be. Bicycles today, as most bicycle enthusiasts already know, don't come cheap. But one thing all bicycle owners do know, your bike can be an easy target for thieves. U-locks may be the most common lock you can buy, but they're also the easiest to break apart. Winter International, makers of the Club, vehicle anti-theft device, announces a breakthrough in bicycle security. Introducing the Bike Club, a revolutionary bicycle lock engineered with the same precision and anti-theft features as the Club. Its easy-to-use features include a fully adjustable locking system, super strong but lightweight chromoly construction, and a durable vinyl-coated finish. So before you invest a dime on any new bike, make sure you secure it with the best locking device you can buy, the Bike Club.
27-13, the final. The Dolphins win it tonight. And Bob, in a phrase, that's more like it, I guess.
That's more like it. Only a negative. A couple of guys got banged up, and we said last week it was a loss, but no guys got hurt. I don't think that Cox is hurt that badly. I think that's the major one, and then the fullback position is another concern, but this is something to build on into the season.
For Bob Greasy, Brad Nessler saying so long from Joe Robbie Stadium. We'll see you next Friday night in Orlando against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tonight's 6 Action Sports exclusive was sponsored in part by Lexus Luxury Automobiles, a new journey in the relentless pursuit of perfection. By DirecTV, introducing personalized TV. And by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Drivers wanted. Be sure to join us Friday night at 8 when the Dolphins take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, live from the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. This has been a 6 Action Sports exclusive.
South Florida. It wouldn't be a good summer without sunshine. That's 6 Shame on You investigator Al Sunshine. He's taking action and getting laws passed. Now car leasers must disclose their full price before you lease. School cafeterias must post health inspection reports, not hide them. And builders must show how new homes meet safety codes before you buy. New laws to protect you. Thanks to 6 Shame on You investigator Al Sunshine. Taking action for you. One bag's round-trip journey and serious questions about airport security. Monday on 6 Action News.
People ask why a man campaigning for office in Mexico comes